can unmute.
Did you mute it right now?
I think you're muted.
Is it you?
You're muted.
Didn't hear it though.
Okay, we had 0 people.
That was 10 out of 10. Alright. Can we get a senator to please read the land acknowledgements, please? Someone, Senator Sevilla, Senator Moore, go ahead.
We would like to acknowledge with respect the Seneca Nation, known as the Great Hill People and Keepers of the Western Door of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. We take this opportunity to thank the original caretakers on whose ancestral lands the University of Rochester currently resides in Rochester, New York.
Thank you, Senator Moore. With that, we're going to go into open forum. So this is a chance for anyone in the gallery to address Senate. I know that a lot of you are probably here for the flags. We're going to be addressing that later if that is why you're here. But if you have any other issues you'd like to raise, now would be the time. So, yes. And please say your name when you're speaking. Oh, Senator Sorkin, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick point of clarification. So you mentioned that we'll be talking about the flag issues later. So when do you want us to discuss them? Would it be like?
We're going to be talking about them during Lily's updates and campus time.
Oh, okay, great. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else?
Yeah, but just point. The purpose of open forum is to allow anyone and everyone to say their mind. So if at any point you have something to say, regardless of whatever it entails, you are free to say it. There's no limitations in that. Matt's suggestion, however, is that you wait till Campus Life gives its updates because they mostly pertain to the flags. However, there's no hard and fast rule inhibiting your opportunity to say something because the open forum is a space for free speech. So utilize it as you please.
Yeah, feel free to do it. Yeah, just like raise your hand and I'll call on you and just say your name. I know you wanted to say something more.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Kriti. Nice to see a lot of people here right now. I like obviously the flag things is interesting. That's going to be covered later and stuff. And that's like one point where you can talk about how the university and the higher ups don't really hold themselves accountable. I want to know what is being done to petition for workers' wages and specifically dining hall workers, because there isn't much being talked. It's not really being talked about, and so it's affecting all forms of like on this campus. It's affecting the students. It's affecting the workers, and workers are walking out. Because currently, right now, they're being paid $14 per hour. That's like minimum wage in the state. And when New York State did increase its minimum wage, the university still didn't up the wage for those workers. And currently, you can get paid at Subway for $18 an hour, I think, which is crazy. Which is $4 more than what they get paid here. And so it's no wonder that so many of them are actually just getting up and leaving, and like they're just like they're completely done with everything, or you're just over everything. So like I was talking to Mary today, and she had like she had to go on like medical leave for a little bit, and she had to like go to them and fight to get paid during like her medical leave. So I was like, she got injured on the job too. I was like, I was like, that's not okay at all. And she also had to fight to get paid during her vacation as well. So there's a lot of things, and she's only like one specific case, and because students love her so much, they like can't really do much to her, you know. But like think about all the other workers that we don't really talk about or like don't know on a first name basis. So that's just an issue I wanted to bring up. I want to know what was being done to like petition for this, because it does start with us. It does start with the students coming up and saying like, hey, this is an issue, because if they don't listen to the workers, they at least have to listen to students. If they can all listen. But I just wanted to know what was being done about that. That's all.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming and asking that. I'm going to direct you to Chair Hutton on that.
Okay, so I'm the campus life chair for SA, and Sadiq and I met this Saturday this Sunday with Dawn, who is the vice president of the union, so a union rep, and she's also such one of the depots to recognize her, to ask the dining worker perspective, because we've gotten the perspective from dining like admins, and it's definitely something that we need to look into. And so we have a meeting coming up, trying to find a time to schedule it, where our direct questions in the meetings, like we've had some about all the other dining issues, but specifically is how come we haven't had a raise in 2 years? One, all the money, that would normally be paying the dining workers, let's say there's like 100 people, like 100 person gap right now. That's a random number, but there's people who were at a dining shortage, even before the vaccine mandate, let's say it's 100 people. Normally you're paying those people, you're giving them their benefits and insurance coverage. Where's all that money going right now? And that should be going to the wages of the people who are working and to increase the benefits, sign-on bonuses. So that's something that we're directly asking them, and also more transparency towards specifically the dining budget, but just overall budget of the university, because yes, there are higher-ups in the university who are paid a significant amount, and it's absurd because there's people who make the university run who are not giving a livable wage. So I'm so glad you brought it up, because it is something we are looking into currently, along with trying to visualize shorter lines and meal problems, but also realizing like the main issue towards why we have understaffing is because no one, like they want to work here because they love the students, but other than that, there's no benefit to work here. They're not paid enough, they're paid more. Other places, it's easier to go start somewhere else than to fight for low wage. And then another aspect of that is there is a significant amount of dining workers who don't want to get vaccinated. That's nothing in my control, that's New York State mandate.
A good number of them are from communities that have been disproportionately affected by unethical testings from URMC. So there's a lot of distrust in vaccinations in the area. So I mean, that's partly on URMC for not taking accountability for the fact that they performed unethical testing of vaccines on these communities.
Yeah, something we're looking into is what the exemption process is, and I'm not everyone's gonna get exemptions, but there are people, there's a couple of cases of breastfeeding mothers who just don't feel comfortable yet, who say, hey, give me until I'm not breastfeeding, or a couple other, some people are looking just for more time. I'm not sure if they're gonna allow that, but at least having it more accessible of what the process is. But also I will tell you that dining staff is meeting with each of the workers individually to say, what is your concern with getting back, and essentially how can we help you? Because they don't want to lose the workers. And I know students here, again, people they connect with the most is who we see the most. Yes, you also see the facilities workers and such, but dining workers, if you're a first time here on campus, you're interacting with them a lot and you develop a relationship. We're recognizing that they're humans, and they also can't work with excessive hours is important. So that's also something we're trying to publicize or just make it clear to students, and I think students gather that, but some of the implications of not having short hours is because if you get longer hours, it's because someone's not home with their kids or they're not home with their family if you're serving you, but that's kind of a tangent runoff. But yeah, so that's something we were working on. I'll bring up the URMC testing that was kind of in my knowledge, but at that point we'll look into it.
It's just about putting out more educational programs into those communities and getting rid of the stigma
And answering their questions about it, and actually saying you're valid for having this concern.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fran.
I have one more thing, I'll be really quick. It's been years since the Jaeger case, and a lot of people have forgotten about it. So I was wondering if anyone would be willing to do some sort of demonstration, protest, anything like that. Because they did that a couple years ago, but people just forgot about it. And obviously COVID contributed to that and everything, but I don't know, I personally am just really upset and disappointed that this is still a thing, and I would like something to be done about it, or at least someone to come up and say hey, this is an issue. I would like some sort of a demonstration to happen. So I don't know if anyone would be willing to do that, but I regardless of if anyone's down with it or not, I think I'll probably try to put something together, because that's a tradition that has carried forward and it stopped for a little bit. So just so we don't lose momentum on that, and the kids that are coming in right now, the students that are not freshmen have no idea about it. And just so people are more aware of that, I feel that should continue, but that's just my opinion.
Do you mind sharing just in 2 sentences, what that means and what the case was? Because for me, I'm a senior, and it was actually the year before I came here, so chances are most people don't know, for context.
I can just say
But that's-
loose terms. There was a professor here, Dr. Yeager, he got, he sexually assaulted a couple students, and a couple students came forward with the claims, and nothing was done about it at first, and I'm pretty sure the current president, at that time, he had to step down from his position because he had covered up the case so much, and the university paid a whole lot of money. I don't know how much money they paid, a few millions of dollars to cover up the case in the media too. And so that president stepped down, and now I think he's a professor working here, which is wonderful, but I think that's just the general frustration here, is that there is no accountability whatsoever from the university's perspective. And students were outraged, they obviously protested and demonstrated, but that demonstration has not been carried forward over years, and he's still a teacher here. And I literally wanted to apply to take one of his courses, to take a course, and I found out he was a teacher for that. And I just was like, I'm not taking this course, because there's no way I'm taking a course and listening to this guy speak. So it's a huge issue. People that are in that major, I think it's BCS, right? People that are in that major need some of these courses to graduate, right? So if you actually need that course to graduate, you're forced to take it with a professor that sexually assaulted students and is still there and has gone away with it. That's kind of damaging for a student. And so a lot of first years don't know about it either, which is even more dangerous.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll take that into consideration, try to get something going with that. Thank you for raising
I
that.
can share some responses that Yeager's case has been at the forefront of the university's Title IX office for a while, was at the forefront of the Title IX office for a while. Unfortunately, at some point, the university realized, after losing a civil court case, that they had no jurisdiction over the matter because of legal limitations, especially after Trump's administration completely revamped the Title IX jurisdiction and all of that stuff. So because of that, at this point, the university has no legal authority or ability to fire or remove Yeager from the premises, especially because it's tenured. That's not a justification or an explanation, but just that that's an aspect that we're working on. However, unfortunately, it's really, really difficult for SA Gov just by itself to push for such a large change, especially within faculty, and get an administrator removed because a court of law has already adjourned on that specific issue. However, I think over the last 2 years, consistently, SA Gov leadership for some time, and Christina and before them, Jamal, they've consistently been advocating for either the removal or several sanctions against Yeager, and consistently not much has come about because of the consistently evolving nature of Title IX regulations, and also because our Title IX data resigned last year, primarily because of the need for access to information related to the federals.
Isn't it what you said is true? I still would like to see some sort of demonstration, just to educate and inform people coming into the school, because I think it's really important to learn.
Thank you. I'll go to you.
Two quick things to follow up on what Sarah wrote. Hi, so two quick follow up on that. One about the Yeager thing, is that even if the school can't legally fire him, it doesn't mean that there are other ways to make people resign, including pressure from an entire campus. So I just wanted to reiterate that if it is the case, which it seems like if the university is not directly forcing him to quit, there are things that we as a student body can do to do that, to help make him leave. Second thing is about the dining hall workers. Interesting question. So sorry, I heard several times about how a large portion of the workers are resigning because not wanting to get vaccinated. What does that percentage mean? What is a large portion? Because that's pretty big.
It's
So we don't-
25% as far as we
What did you say?
25% of this 140 to what we got from down.
I've heard a very amount of numbers depending on.
That's of the percentage who resigned. 26.
Of the percentage that we made.
So of the percentage that have resigned, how many do we know what percentage?
So no one thus far has resigned because of the vaccine mandate, as far as we understand, primarily because the vaccine mandate was to affect, I believe, September 22nd.
So then how is it that the explanation for the current shortage is because of the vaccine?
Yes,
That's not the explanation for the correct one. So
That's what people, it's like, that is what everyone is gonna say,
but everyone is not an active source. So
like from the school.
no, but
part of it is they have to get vaccinated and that's people, so if they don't schedule an appointment, they have, they know they're going to be vaccinated, they're supposed to be like, some of it is gonna have more resignations on, if they do not get vaccinated and have an appointment before Monday, they're either fired or voluntarily resigning, because if you resign, you get employment or unemployment benefits, and you get compensation and things like that. But if you, like, otherwise they will be fired.
What I'm asking is, has no, like anyone been asking when people are quitting and resigning, like if they're quitting because of the vaccines that been asked to them?
I don't know specific numbers regarding who's already left because.
Yeah, no, the number of people resign and what specific causes individual resign, however, the general consensus at this point seems to be that a number of people resign is based on how they work, people getting injured, there's a number of and that's employees resigning very recently because the number of people available to work in all of these stations is very limited. So when people work are seemingly limited, they're more prone to fatigue, they're prone to getting into accidents. A significant number so to speak, has gotten into as such accidents and gotten into physical issues.
Also, keep in mind that there is a national worker shortage as a result of this. There are people who don't feel comfortable, or maybe passed away that work for ours, have family members they're still taking care of. Their general, like, there's still a percentage, can't give you a number, sorry, we'll get to it. We'll get to specifics. But there's just, we came into this year, we came into last year, honestly, with shortages, and then an aspect to that is also our dining is even more, our dining halls specifically, are overworked in the sense that our workers keep costs larger than normal. So there's just also more people going to dining halls. That's not, they should be able to accommodate for that, but another version of is that. So there's like 10 balls that the dining is juggling right now to see, like, one's the vaccine, one's the conditions, one's the pay, one's the bigger class, one is just normal strain. We've had what is the word? Supply chain issues. Not that anyone is about to read my mind right there, but supply chain issues. So like Hillside delivery food attendants. That is nothing that they can control, but then that means that the people who are normally being and getting prepared stuff are going on a dining right now. But essentially there's like, I wish it was one easy issue, but I do want to stress that it is my physical top priority right now, and the most meetings I manage revolve around that.
And also to add on top of that, a lot of people who otherwise workers and not being able to get jobs because hospital by night has been delayed because of the number of people.
I correct that. We are hiring senior workers. There was an I-9, just one in my office. An I-9 workshop on Saturday, and we should be able to hire some workers. I'll double check in and send an email, but they're going to be hired tomorrow on Wednesday and start training, which were Phil Rockies and Wilco cashew position all the coffee shops. I think that's slowly. That's the goal, is to have those all these students so we can put dining workers where they only can be union workers.
Just clarify, I was not in any way like placing any blame on people for resigning. It was more that the university seems to have their communication, for whatever the reason maybe, it seems to have been, and I can't even, I've got to look, I can't find exactly what it's coming from, but I have a member receiving communications from the school saying that the reasons for the resignations were because of the vaccine, and I wonder if there's any way to like tell the university that they can't.
So I'd be interested, if you stay after this, and I'd be interested in figuring out where the communication came from. The one email that was sent out by myself, someone very specifically that there are a variety of reasons for which people resign. However, we foresee them in the near future because of the vaccine mandate. So the distinction between foreseeing and current situations.
But the case we're asking because there's been a lot of rumors and like a lot of misconceptions as well about why a lot of these resignations have been happening and what is what is causing this situation. And we understand their frustration, and we understand that the university has not been communicating in the best way possible to the student body why these reasons are coming about, which is why we're trying to do our best to communicate to bridge that communication gap between admin and students. So keep asking your questions and we'll try our best to answer.
And that's why we try to get as many people to attend, send out updates because we present updates and we go through very thorough detail. So that if there's any miscommunication, it's clarified as well as possible.
And you can cross-check every 3 months.
Lastly, obviously, we don't regularly receive any communication, only speaking able as a student. But I will double check because, to be honest, there's so much communication that we go out and a lot of highlighter stuff. I already know the information, so I'm not going to be reading out the email. It's things I already know, so I'll go back and look specifically how they word it, because there was one aspect of like spaces that were closing on campus that was confusing to me, so we knew which spaces were being closed. And then just make sure that they at least either copies already go to make it a little bit more clear, or transparent if it's not transparent, because that is an issue as well. And I know they said that to parents, so that's something that I went through. And we'll just, I'll bring it up.
Thank you. Anyone else for open forum? Yes.
I want to say this, that there's just a lot of like parity between like universities saying, oh, we all have a chance to remember better. And it's not like the quality of life that students have. I generally think that the university treats their students as a second priority, not even a priority. In my opinion. I don't see, you guys say that you're talking to the admins, and I hear that a lot. I hear that people say, oh yeah, someone's talking about it. But I feel like talking about it just, to me, seems like, I'm sorry for my language, but it just seems like bullshit. I just don't really see what the school or what this, like, as much as you guys are doing. In my opinion, I don't really like anything about what the school is doing. The last semester, I don't know how. Last year, even with COVID, the quality of life was so much better this year. The school is just wasting their money on like pretty much stupid things. You have a solar powered stop sign that's meant to power a stop sign. It shows blinking red lights, and that was like there's a small like I guess thing to consider, but at the same time, I understand the university is receiving a lot of money, paying a lot of people a lot of money, and I just don't see how the university chant that the student body is praises the slogan Meliora. To me, Meliora seems more like a copyright. It doesn't really seem like anything worth of value or anything worth chancing at all. Like, how is it possible that a professor has been able to work for 5 years and the student body has just not done shit? I understand that there are legal reasons, but still, it surprises me how the school can say, oh yes, we're very liberal. We understand almost every issue you guys are talking about, but still, like, show nothing for it. Like, I know that's just my personal frustration. I know a lot of people are upset about the quality of food, life, whatever. And it's just, to me, it just seems like the school is just not, they just don't know what they're doing. And I'm generally upset with everything that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say to that is that we're also upset. And like, I know that we are trying. This is like, people think that it might be like an easy fix, but things don't happen tonight. We are actively trying to work on all of these issues, and I think we are making progress, as you'll see later. Would you like to say anything, Sharon?
Yeah. Sweetie, Frank, I agree. Like, it's very frustrating, but I'll say is the people you're seeing's job right now, our job is to either write bills, communicate, or then bring it to the people who have the meetings with the admins. While also, yes, going and saying we are, for lack of a better word, pissed. But there's only so much because one of you still in the room and at the table invested to have the decision while showing that you're frustrated. So I'm so glad you're here saying this, because we want students to show that they're upset. I see so much of it online. I want people to show up and say, I am upset with how my school life is. I pay so much money to come here. Why are the flags not up? Why is the quality of the food not great? Why is this professional? Like, all these things, what you're doing right now, spread it and tell your friends, like, demonstrate, send an email, you're upset. Like, just as if this was in not a school in the sense of like write your representative, really send as many emails as possible, call, but also just show up to things like this, because yes, they believe us when we say people are upset, but that only goes so far. They're like, okay, cool. To be with a better because he's in probably way more meetings than I.
Yeah, no, see, when we advocate for issues that are causing concern within the student body, it's very easy for administrators to ignore us or take it slightly when there's not enough momentum from the student body to practice. That's why when we put out petitions, for instance, like the one we put out today for the flag lounge, we want as many students to sign it so that we have numbers, hard numbers, to go back to administrators and be like, there's 2,000 students who don't want you to do this. Why are you not changing the policy? And it's similar, like, when there are issues that you can't solve by writing a petition, we encourage students to reach out to administrators because when you send 50 emails in a day to one specific director saying, when Lily goes and talks to that director, it's easier for her to make a case where you guys are messing up. You have to fix this. And then the issue is not just that SA is only an advocacy body, but also that over the last years, SA has lost its ability to be as directly influential as it would possibly be because of COVID and all that stuff, right? Like over the last 2 years, because of remote operations, because of students not being able to gather on campus, it's been really difficult to exert that kind of pressure on administrators that we would be able to work with. Like, if I could get 50 people looking and stand outside the Unanimous road stops right now, I do it. It's probably point. But the point is being, this is the sort of stuff that we can do, and we're willing to work with the ongoing, but also at the same time, we have to make sure that as Lily mentioned, we also have a seat at the table so that when those decisions are made, we're still there to at least, if nothing else, know them before they're shared publicly. We can convey them to you in a timely fashion so that when they get to you, they don't get as bad as they would otherwise.
Yeah, to add to that, to sort of address the dining, one example of this is, so we put out in Steve's email, a dining concerns form. We got a decent amount of responses. I mean, typically people don't love but each of those were very thorough. We're actually adding it on the website. So that's something where you can't directly dining, and I didn't say, you have two people, like you have all concerns. Here's what I want food, apparently there's a rat in depot. I don't know. And then like it doesn't taste good, my dietary restrictions, like all of your concerns went directly to them, and then all of, okay, well, how are we changing this, how are we doing this? So that's just an example of how students' feedback, like I can tell them I'm getting concerns about the menu, but when I got specific, this is exactly what I want. One person was like, bring back the scones, and they're like, okay. So that's just an example.
Here's like all of the overall idea of petition. I feel like the university, when they look at a number, they're like, cool, that's great, but that doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, like a lot of what they have, I guess, at the moment, is just one big number because that actually means something. And I forgot money. But yeah, I just don't feel like the petition is such a great idea. But I do agree with you that you guys do deserve a seat at the table. I just don't like how the flag thing comes with shots and everything. Like how they didn't communicate with you guys at all about that. It seems like really absurd, it's just like a really underhanded big question. It makes me question, like, I guess the essay position. And I want you guys to have more power, if I'm being honest. I want you guys to actually be heard, because I want to be heard too, you know? So if I can round those like 50 people, I'd be on board with like doing whatever you guys are on board with doing that house for house.
That's a very valid point, so I'll address that. I'll get to you just, I'll address that in two. Right, number one, essay has been part of the situation surrounding the flags from the start. Lily will talk about that in a second. It's not as though essay is not part of it, as much as the issue is they did not give a shit about the essay. Two very distinctly different things. The other thing, petitions and numbers have nothing with that. So slightly agree to disagree kind of situation. Last spring, students needed spring break because there were no breaks in the middle of the semester. We put out a petition, we got enough signatures, we put enough pressure and being done there, we went to college. I know it was not a lot, but we still ended up getting 2 days off the other semester. Sure, that's a small victory, but that's the sort of stuff we end up getting because when we ask for like 50 things, they usually get 5 back to us. And we try to make that 5 as much as possible by taking it to 10. Lily can talk more about the flags and worse so I think we're good.
So I'll talk more thoroughly about the flags in my updates, but just one note. So, I've been on the flag committee the last year, and then I was chief of staff the year before, so I was de facto all the information going on. And I will let you know it was a conscious decision of mine to leak it to the campus times before the president was able to tell the students. So that's why
Campus Times, told you before she did, because I'm frustrated that it's taking so long to tell the students. I had a meeting with her last Wednesday. I was the only student in this meeting. And that was the decision, and I was like, what do? I can't argue my article for the conference, like I gotta tell them, I just feel like my duty to tell the students that this is happening and not wait, who knows how long she still has to tell the committee members. And to be honest, she's probably so mad at me right now that I told you guys, but I thought that was important in my role as a campus representative to share that information and also give you a chance to show how frustrated you are, because if she says, this is my decision, we move on, and it's now the end of the semester because of everything that takes time, and you're like, I'm on break, I can't say this thing. So I wanted to give students a chance to voice their concerns, to protest if they want to show whether they're in support or not in support of the decision. But I knew it was at least going to take 3 weeks before she get an apology. We did recommend in the report that she needed to send an apology to the student body regarding taking them down without notifying anyone, and also for the rearrangement of the flags in November 2019 surrounding like moving Hong Kong and Taiwan. I don't know. It's always
They were put in the sub.
some people weren't here, so that's why, but they were essentially, a lot of it was issues with the categorization, but essentially to answer why she hasn't told you, that's why. No, so I knew that, so we had the meeting Wednesday. She had to tell our committee, which hasn't happened yet, so that's the week. So we made a proposal that she was reviewing, had 2 different options. So to give that a week for people to get, so we're down at this Wednesday, and then she has to write it. If we were to do that, so things going on. So don't you do that from this meeting? So yes, to jump on the gun and tell them to do that after the meeting. Yeah. So I did run the risk of people like, where's the official statement, and the extent did that out of her official statement. Obviously, she was not going to do that. So that's just context that I had, like, that was a choice. We made a decision, what was the pros and cons, and the pros of it outweighed the con of people being like, I'm kind of confused what's going on. I hope that answers a little bit of it.
And it's also a mechanism that we're utilizing to be able to put more pressure on it. So if it had gone the way probably intended to, we would get a response by the end of like October, right? But now that Diane Stark knows about this coming out, there's a heightened sensitivity on the topic. Therefore, she's more proactive in dealing with the issue, and this is the exact moment where us as SA, we as students can put pressure on administration. Then even if we don't get her to change their decision or change their mind, we at least get her to recognize that this is something that's already causing in some capacity, even if only emotional, and at least recognize that outwardly so that it is on record that this is what the administration did and this is how it affected students.
And we understand the frustration, like where you're coming from. I was there last semester itself, because there is bureaucracy, and then I'm like, we're not getting that at all. Like there is bureaucracy with that, when they want to approach somebody, like President or even a meeting, we have to go through 3 different channels to even do so. But as elected officials, we're just putting in our time to make sure that we get that information from government and send that to the student body as much as possibly can. But you also understand that they also give us limitations regarding that. There are some things that are confidential, we can't immediately share. We're still advocating to the best of our possibilities to do so. But we recognize the frustration, and we want students to show up and show administration and faculty, President Eccleston, that this is affecting students. Because that's the best that we can do, and we're trying. But this feedback really does help.
The only thing I want to say is I completely disagree with this idea that numbers don't matter. I understand the frustration that sometimes it happens that they don't change the decisions that administration makes, but for administration, it's a bit uncertain. So if they see a petition that was signed by, let's say, 2,000 students, like they don't know what if tomorrow some of those 2,000 students will go and protest outside of Russia, right? And this happened multiple times, and the most recent time was spring of the last year. And it didn't have a huge effect because at the end of the day, when students go outside and make a protest, it makes local news. It sometimes even makes state news. And it can actually make a lot of, it can just put the administration in trouble when they need to answer to actual media questions and actually respond to what they do on a whole lot bigger scale. So, yeah, really, I just say, I think that numbers do matter. They just make the administration feel extremely uncertain about what would come next.
And to add to the, flag committee thing that you brought up, read the article that Max put out, and I think that, give more context, like, the committee was, there was, this representation that was put on the committee, student voices that we're listening to regarding flag. And it's not as much, what we're doing is, it's also the amount of power that the acting does give us, channel our voices and frustration. There were probably like a few students at the time, how they were on the committee, and there was a lot of, personal representation from admin on that committee, and that is frustrating. How to make decisions about certain things that can involve diverse and racial groups, sometimes without even having a decision. But we did as much as we could. We sent in, our representation from student government, and if it wasn't even for this conversation, would have probably been a month. Where admin decided that the facts aren't something that we want to back up again. But because of the resistance that the students were putting to that committee, this conversation has lasted a year and more. And we are going to continue to have this conversation to make them uncomfortable and to bring it up again and again until they understand the point that we're trying to come across, or until we understand what they are exactly asking for. So that is a continuing effort that we want to put in. The proposal that was sent in from the students was initially not even considered by other appointed, and then so it and
So just to add more clarification, because I'm trying to bridge the gap with the SU, will also not like taking the updates in the same second, but I go to. For more clarification, the flag decision is, it's not, we're not going to do anything. It's that we recognize a big portion of the committee just felt that the flags weren't an adequate representation. There's too many challenges with it. My personal opinion is that you can have the flags up, but also doing something else because students have a connection to the flags. But there's going to be another committee that I'm going to co-chair with. Art history professor, but also I'm associated is a big and the whole chapter that will be how we adequately represent students. It's not going to be a one-to-one. We're not saying here's this like cool, we're done. It's constant conversations, dialogue, bringing back in speakers, having student artwork, campus, getting actual opinions. Students are way more creative than the 10 minds on the committee. So saying like, what are your ideas? How can we, like, we're going to cultural groups and minority groups and literally every group on campus we can that fits this distinction of needing representation. Sorry, I don't know if we'll be going to the club. But hey, we might. And sort of asking them their opinions on this general larger topic of diversity.
Matt, we recognize you had your hand raised.
Yeah. Thank you so much, by the way, for commenting. Would you like to say something?
Yes. Sorry, I was late. I didn't know that this meeting was happening until it was already in progress. But even though I'm a first graduate, this is extremely clear to me how little the university cares about its workers. It's pathetic, it's obvious, and the fact that the university is skirting around this fact and alluding to the vaccine mandate and nationwide worker shortages. Well, why is there a nationwide worker shortage, especially with dining workers? Because it's dangerous for them. It's a dangerous position and it's extremely important, and they're not being compensated for it. If they're better off not working, that says more about the university, about the job, than about the workers. And it's like, this is like very, very obvious, and just numbers, we have numbers. You mentioned, that 50 people to build, I'm ready to go, like, right now, and I have many people that I've talked to who would be willing to do something like that. I believe that we as students need to be organized, so that we can effectively use that power. It is one thing for, elected members such as yourselves to go through, bureaucratic, paths and, things like that, but, we don't have those limitations. Everyone else here, we can protest things, we can go and tell them what our thoughts are. And I think that's something we should be doing, and I'm willing to, be a part of organizing that and, getting people together and spreading like accurate information and things like that. I really think that there needs to be some sort of organization of the student body that can do things like this, because something like flags, just like, I know I wasn't there when this issue occurred, but it seems like it's going on for a really long time. Or like a very, like that's not even on the same scale as, like not paying your workers a living wage. Like, and then back on that topic, like those people are literally responsible for feeding the student body. And the university has so much fucking money. It's actually like disgusting to see, like the difference between, it's like, as you said, it's ironic how they're always talking about failure. Sorry, I'm going on for a while because, like, being here today, this makes me really angry. It makes me feel like I'm like licking the university boots and as they're doing this. And I think that there are many people that feel that way and we're really action. And I think that's something that we should act on as soon as possible, and with all the numbers that we have. And I understand if that's something that might put your positions in danger, but there are other people who are willing to do that if you are not. So I would like to know, like, what you would be willing to contribute to, like, some sort of action, like, against these things that people want to change. Okay,
Could I remember you? So sorry.
my name is Theo.
Yeah, all right, sweet. So. Okay. The mask. There you go. We're not scared of doing anything to the extent of resigning from our positions, if that's what gets the job done. As a matter of fact, you're a first year, you won't hear us. The Sama and I, both of us, resigned from our positions last year in Senate.
Like all of these people are senators sitting here.
I mean, this is democracy, how it was affecting people's ability to like get outrageous, get meetings with legislators that need to be done, etc. We're not shy of protesting anything with you, we're not shy of doing any of those matters. The issue is the university is a very, very large
Political and corporate entity.
and to pressure it into doing anything takes a lot more than us just protesting, but also a lot more organization, which is why I think you might do the Senate, because this is the sort of place where we're able to centralize a lot of systems of the body and plan for things such as that. Like for instance, I don't know how many of you have heard, but there's a movement going on about having a sort of protest on Friday the 24th, right here in Earth on 25, right? Stuff like that, organizing it, and you guys
And flesh out the details and how people like, we appreciate all the comments that you made and agree with them.
the university does not do shit to the list. Last year, I spent an entire year trying to convince administrators to change the central contract that we have with Ironmark, because Ironmark is a company that has hella bogus ethical like boundaries, right? They've been known for treating
people in prisons with the food that not even humans, like animals should not eat, right? We've tried our best to address these issues, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, because of all of that's going on at the same time, and also considering the fact that at the end of the day, we are, SA government is pretty much a volunteer organization, right? And 20 plus hours we advocate for their kids, and also 20 plus hours trying to study for classes, and also 20 plus hours trying for their scholarships. So there's a ton of things happening at the same time, and then we have to make sure that we're prioritizing ourselves as students as well as representatives of the school. And we're doing our best. And when I say we're putting in the effort, I cannot say anything beyond the point that we need you to have faith in us, because we are only powered by, the administration can't give us power to take away from us, but the students can. When you support us, when you are willing to come out to Senate meetings, when you are willing to come out to protests that are organized by SAO people who are affiliated with SA, that gives us credibility and validity, and then we can push administrators forward. That's why I brought up the point of sending out emails and mass, and that's why we encourage you to. If there are issues that you think need to be addressed urgently, shoot an email to whichever administrator is directly responsible, and if you can't figure that out, shoot an email to myself, Osama, Matt, any of us. We'll direct you to the right person, you CC us in that email, and the next time we go to a meeting to talk to those people, we can be like, this is the 50th person who's told you you are talking about. Can you please stop talking? And that's when we can put the right kind of pressure on.
And we understand the anger, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We've been angry, and the nicest way to express that anger to admin is to try to work through that, you know. But the thing is, oftentimes with the administration, they don't directly address these things to students or like openly talk about it, which is why students come to Senate. And break that, you know, little bubble of like hush hush, and we're not going to bring this up. We want to have these open dialogue discussions where you are expressing your anger and frustration, and we're also trying to, you know, provide you with whatever solutions we are able to echo with this. But do you want to talk about the situation? As elected representatives.
Yeah, so Lily, myself, Leslie is not here because these are Secretary for Community Engagement. We've been working on multiple plans that help that right now, so there's right? Number one, the school is probably talking about in terms of supporting the workers. That aspect, Lily and I are working with by connecting with the school CFO. She's also vice president for finance. We're trying to figure out and get more transparency around where the money goes. The fact that we don't have, say like 100, this is an arbitrary number, it's not exact, but say right now we're 100 people short. So that means they're not paying salaries for 100 people. Where is that money going? Why is that money not being reinvested to get more people higher wages, people sign up bonuses, etc. We're trying to get all of these details, but unfortunately, the pace at which we can do this is just not as quick as we would turtle about to as well. It's incredibly difficult to get all the power who's the CFO of the university ready for a meeting like on a 2-day notice because she has 15 meetings a day. It's hard to get the director of planning every single day because he's in the middle of negotiations with the union. We're not saying that the school has ethically sound practices. A number of times, a number of senators, presidents, and elected members have said that they do not. Unfortunately, changing those policies takes a lot more time. The fact that the school is a project that's planned for 4 years. Similarly, like the shuttle to the mainland, the mainland shuttle to the marketplace, essay content took a while for us to get it sorted and working out. A lot of these projects, and say the tampons and pads that are available across campus, essay content. But the PXC project, all of this takes a lot for us to sort out because unfortunately, even if we completely diminish the bureaucracy within SA, which I'd really like to think that we have done quite a bit over the last few years, it's very difficult to get administration to shut down their bureaucracy because they thrive off of it and that's how they do it. And short of going in front of their office and just sitting down for like 48 hours in front of a hunger strike, what students have done in the past, and unfortunately unsuccessfully, there's not much more we can do, such as utilize the time that we have, but exert pressure, when you guys empower us, by supporting us, by signing petitions that we ask you to, by sending emails to the administration with further requests. I hope that answers your question.
So the Senate meetings are meetings with the administration?
No.
So this is the Senate. So in Senate
there's academic affairs, there's international student affairs, there's campus life, there's art and science, which deals with like other money and all, budgeting for like organizations and stuff. So every senator is assigned to a committee, and all throughout the week we work on our specific projects or ad hoc, whatever, and then we meet on Monday at 8 to discuss all of our updates of what we've done in the past week. So this is what Senate is, and it also provides everything for us, the student body, members of the student body in the past.
I think you have a follow.
Yeah, so, how does students showing up to Senate meetings that pressure, the administration?
Right.
Yeah, so the only way we're able to show administration that there's a collective, or frustration from the students is when we hear from them. So when we hear that, this is the feedback that we have, we can be as unfiltered and honest with the administration when we meet them, and be like, this is what students have said, and this is what other students have expressed similar sentiment, which means that there's collective, opinion on evidence that what you've done is not right. We are only able to do so when we hear from you guys, and which is why we encourage students to come here to Senate, also to hold or messages, reach out to us, whatever, so that we can collect these testimonies or collective frustration and present it to admin. I can say that we were frustrated recently the past year because there wasn't as open talking with admin about unfiltered things that, okay, this is what you are doing wrong, or this is what students are mad about. But Sabita and I will tell you, are not scared to do that. We've been doing that the past month or so, and over the summer as well, where we meet administration and we give them the truth that this is why students are mad, and you need to do better in the nicest way possible, because we don't want them to get mad at us either, because we want them to work with us. It's very difficult. Those are very difficult things to balance. But we're trying to do our best, and the way we can only do this is when we have the support from the student body to be able to make that collective push.
And to just add to that, I know it doesn't sound as such, but when people show up to Senate, that gives us a lot of credibility. So when tomorrow, say, annually, one of our advisors asks, how many people showed up to Senate, when you're saying this, what authority are you coming with? We can be like, there were 20 different people from 20 different walks of life on campus that showed up to Senate and said these very similar things. And if you're willing to ignore it, then you're used to that. There's a lot of this is showmanship, but showmanship has an impact on policy. We have to utilize pretty much all and any resources that we have, including people showing up, saying their piece, and us literally recounting it word by word to the administration. This is the order, she's taking notes of meetings. She knows everything that's going on. Administration cares about these notes and the number of issues that we've brought to this. So it's not just that when you show up, we get to know about issues for the most part, we know about issues with diversity as well. And we go through the same shit that you do. But also when you show up, it adds credibility of our politics. There were 20 people talking about the same shit. Why are you not doing it?
And one of the reasons why we do this, why we, rise and go through legislative processes and all of that are entailed, this bureaucracy we put up with the administration, is so that once we graduate, they will go back to the norm. So that we make that long-lasting impact, so that it stays even when we leave, because realistically, so we will graduate in 2022. And maybe change their policy or their way of looking at things might just bounce back. And it's not going to make that long-lasting impact, but we want to be able to do that. And that can only happen when we realize through us that the majority of the student body has a collective response to what their actions are.
Thank you very much for coming on the call on you.
Hi everyone, I know some of you, but for those that I don't, I'm a junior. And I just want to go back to about that. So I know you guys are dealing with a lot. There's so many things happening. So first of all, thank you all of you for everybody. And I know you guys, it's been a lot of effort. But then I wanted to ask, last year, 2020, summer, a bunch of cultural organizations created a petition about, it was about the Black Center, but it also touched a lot of diversity and inclusion topics. And I was wondering what happened with that and why Black Lounge like, whether it's putting the flags in place to like a priority right now, and I feel like this space that we're in yet for the position are not, or like what happens to them, why are we talking about flags? I think my first time you think that it's like from the university, like something so I think this flags, like what else are we doing, what's this like situation right now, there's so many more things happening that I think like this sort of
If could someone ask, like, respond to that?
yeah.
Okay. No, so flags are a semi-priority right now because of what they mean to the numbers to us. Right? It's not as though we're diverting all of our attention from everything else to the flags. It's just an issue that came to light very recently. And considering how it is to represent the voice of the majority of the students, we're trying our best to advocate for the students about the flags, as well as at the same time managing all of the other aspects. So one of the was getting rid of our mortgage on it for years. And we're still trying to work out the logistics of how we can go about it. There are more as far as I think so. And that's when we're actually able to see that we're doing our best to present multiple proposals at the same time. So that administration can be like, oh, we didn't have any options, because we know they have those options. We're gonna put those options in their place and force them to pick one of them. And we're in the process of getting that accomplished. Writing a 50-page proposal takes time, making sure that it's written well and all the details are perfectly correct takes time. And if and when we do submit something that's not exactly perfect, admin will find like the smallest mistake and be like, oh, because of this very tiny mistake, we're not gonna like this. And so we have to make sure that, you know, the vetting process is really clear. Let me cover a couple more things and get some more. One of the other things that the petition for severing all ties with our people. Now, because of the school's relationship, sorry, the Department of Public Safety's relationship with the Rogers Police Department, it's difficult for them to go out and be like, fuck our people. I would personally, in my personal capacity, say fuck our people completely. Unfortunately, DPS can't, because the second they say that, they lose all jurisdiction over things. Now, I am not a fan of DPS personally, but I would choose DPS over Rochester Police Department because students are more comfortable with them. They're better trained to deal with students, and they're people who are not going to like impose really messed up policies and mechanisms of arrest and whatnot onto students that are to be built. Which is why at some point, despite this being like a 2-year-long process, Amanda Leanne, she graduated last year, Devon was junior this year. A lot of these people who work with public safety, review their policies, turns out their policies are pretty half decent. The only issue is the implementation of them. And right now, we have a working group working with a couple of officers from DPS, a couple of members of the SA government, trying to figure out how we can improve DPS's interaction with students and how they can stop being so buggy. Okay, that's one of the other demands. So in the same round, there's like 8 other demands. I remember there being a total of 10, like 2 separate petitions. I can cover each one of them. We are working on all of them proactively. It's hard to bring all of them up every single time we talk because there's almost a new crisis every single week, especially for the last 2 weeks.
And there's not enough hours in the day.
Yeah.
And also the flags were something that student government has started working on almost a year ago. And we also want to see that to completion because our CC for the flags has not ended. Because they did not have it in the so this is one of the many things that we're trying to do. It's not that our focus is only on flags.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make sure that it's something that is like as for many women, as flags, it's not being a priority, well, there's so many other things that can actually make track of my good. Thank you for that answer. And also, yeah, just like I'm part of Spanish Community Association before, and we're struggling a lot with like our advisors, like they're just, there's like, cultural organizations just have one advisor, like, it's the same person, and she's like over overwhelmed and like she's never planned, she's really like this, making us like our operations should go way slower and even like making things for us. So I think it's also part of like, like, you're not, really, and I like multiple things and diversity. So I think things like this, that's an tangible example, what I have right now, but there are way more things, you know, like funding to this type of departments, I think is very important to be addressed.
And I agree with that because I was on the board of vice president of the last year, which is Association of Development Interested in this content, and I think the same advisor as you guys do, and we struggle. You know, we struggle, and we're very frustrated about it. So I understand that.
So I just wanted to address two things, I'm gonna address the vice president. So that is something really brought to my attention, this past week, that we're gonna look into, because the way the advisory structure goes is there's people who don't work at the saying, and so it's broken up, and we, as I'm saying, have our certain advisors and everything, and then on all the culture. Not okay. So, no, I don't think any of the other people will staff who work, who are advisors for other groups, would serve as the best advisor, because that's just getting the issue of you're not getting the best representation you need. So I think it'd be great, and what our group is, and again, it's very early stages, because this is like news. Is figuring out who within the university has the capacity, because your advisor has to be someone at the university. Maybe we'll look into that, but who has the capacity to be now new advisors, because, and take the load off the one person. And maybe it's a professor who has this time after hours to do it. Maybe it's a staff worker who is really involved, and it's finding what works best for each group. We're not going to have every single one have a different advisor, because part of it is that they're in these communal meetings together about it, but also maybe we add two more people. Maybe it's people who are within the Brevard Intercultural Center or the Lake Center. That's something that I'm trying to look into, is how do we pull from our other resources on campus to alleviate one person's concerns, but also meeting the needs of the student groups to have representation that is actually adequate to them, and they understand. I want to say that is something that just recently added to this, but really thick. And then back to the flag, I easily agree. I think flags are actually the best representation. We talked about this earlier, so that is the university's space, that they're performing an identity or this nationalistic icon. And so, although there are students, and so as a representative, the students are just numerous perspectives. So yours is one of them. That is the goal of the new committee, is how do we represent students your group's meetings and come to you to gather, because what's the best way, and that is different, everyone has different answers. Do I personally think that you're fully representing identity as a person? There's a lot of issues with it currently in OPUs and other groups. That's my personal opinion. We have 6,500 plus other things and but my personal goal, my essay government project this year as well. So I have a class, and my goal is to figure out before I leave in a year and a half how to make that. And so I just want to make that clear that it's part of this class, and there are students who come on campus, they come on with it, and this is my time, and not connected to them. Like, that doesn't do much to me.
Yeah, I to like balance and try to figure out like, was it a proceed on it?
Yes.
So it's all I'm like only one for my country, and that's what right now. Like I like.
The Parliamentarian Updates can do concerns about this.
Is this the only thing that like in terms of diversity and traditions, is this the only thing that works? And that's like what my major was kind of talking about.
I just like to add to that, so, you know how students really ask about the flags? When students have like collective language, that becomes the weapon for us as a year. So now when I go to my meeting with managers or first I can be like, there's at least 2,000 students who are willing to just yell at you nonstop in front of your office on Friday, right? And you can do something about it. And that adds a sense of urgency to a lot of issues that are otherwise being dealt with in a very slow manner. And so I think one of the reasons that at least I personally utilize in this flag situation is not only to get the flags back, but also to utilize it as a mechanism to speed up their attention towards all of the other issues. Because when students get frustrated and they start showing it, administrators get worried. When we channel that collective rage and show administrators what students are actually capable of, we can speed up the process related to a lot of these issues.
Of course, yeah. Another thing that I just want to say, about statements, I think you mentioned, we are giving up a symbolic meaning, I think that's necessary. I don't want make an emphasis that statements, they are very important because for two reasons. First reason is they are actually annual, like severe, we can all say that, hey, this is what students think. And although a statement will never have a number of people, like, unlike the petition, it will not show how many people are actually in support of this opinion, it will still be legally a way how we can say that, hey, this is what students believe in, and this is actually the fact, because all the students' representatives, or some of them, approved the statement. So it just an overall knows that they actually matter and they have a big place. And they're of course less, their impact is less significant as impact of petitions, but they still have a very powerful influence on decision making. So yeah, that's.
We have another question.
Just my experience, I've been on the executive board for user organization now for over a year, and we also, our advisor has also been kind of responsive and seems overworked, so that might be more conversation.
That we're working on consistently, like slowly making it easy.
Like these the goal of the issues are like, for instance, we can't let students not get fed. The advisory we're working on them, unfortunately, it's hard for us to try and put in our ability to do that. The put has no effort into that, and so we do that. Does anyone have any other questions or comments?
Just a reminder, we are about to go into executive and campus life updates where we'll be addressing more of these issues. So if anyone else doesn't have any questions, we can move into the campus life updates.
And I strongly recommend that you guys stay for us as this to see a general, at least a glimpse of how many aspects of campus life we're working on at any given point and how we're dealing with it.
And I would also like to add, thank you so much for all those who've been patient for here specifically about the flag issue. We're about to go into that right now in the next 5 minutes. So Share Hutton, whenever you're ready, you can take it away.
Alright, so we've touched upon these amendments, so I'm gonna go through some kind of briefly and others more thoroughly. So one, we talked about how the vaccine is gonna be a big update, less than a week from now. There were some protests that have been going on for the past probably months since the notification went out, and there was a good one, I don't know what's the went out, mentioned to me about in the meeting, but essentially just making sure that everyone's not helpful, that there's protests going on in our med center, which is not too far away from us, from medical center employees and other employees. And I wanted to stress, and that this doesn't mean that they're not fixable, but we're right now part of a larger conversation, and I wish it was easier to fix. But this is a debate about whether or not the vaccine mandate should be enforced as a whole, freedom to choice and things like that. This is a reminder that you probably already all know it. That is an implication that it's affecting a lot of PhDs on campus. And it's partly the university, this is partly New York State, partly federal, all of those different things. So specifically going into Dominic, I met with Rachel, who is the university representative, and also she's employee manager. So student workers in the feedback. So the new student workers I mentioned before, they're going to be hired, so we can try and get them in all the positions. But I mentioned some of these concerns, and also I brought these concerns to Rachel and also specifically to some of the staff. So we won't be able to them because they already talked with it. But I think that's why having a seasoning station, concerns relating to dietary restrictions, the cross-contamination of foods, specifically mixed meat and beans, a lot of vegetarian motive concerns. So those are things that are very changes. There are also like sometimes we have students get to around and things that are get the feedback. So this is actually a great way for them to get concerns with students because sometimes they're like, oh, did not realize that really upsets students in the future. So that's something we're really working on is how do we want to think of food quality and the menu as well. So I'm going to move on. I touched on this a little bit my meeting with John.
Hey Lily, yeah, I was gonna say, just like, can you speak up a little bit?
So, perfect. So, Dawn, meeting on Sunday, and this was the day I went to for the SAU local 200 United, New Hampshire, dining workers and other workers on campus. And that was the beginning of how do we get to understand what dining workers need and sparked that we won't be reaching out to Holly Crawford, who is the CFO of campus, the University of Rochester, not just campus, to have a meeting about transparency, specifically with funding and how come significantly higher level admins are being paid excessive amounts while the dining workers are not getting paid the livable wage. So all the concerns that were just addressed earlier a little bit more, those will be addressed in our upcoming meeting. Not settled that yet, but will be. I wanted to mention that Pete's and Roots and Shoots are closing for further notice. There's a hierarchy of priority for dining things. I think are went to the most by students and that students intended the most. Roots and Shoots and Pete's are just a lot, unfortunately. Also, Roots and not guys know about that is something that's on that campus. Very similar menu. It's open from either 10 or 10:30 to 4 or 5. It's on the Rochester menu. It's on Rochester as well. Push that one as well because if they get overwhelmed at the room, maybe they'll be like, oh, this is an issue more than just other kids. Sobel is temporarily turning into a California Roll-In. California Roll-In is an external contractor, so it's not dining workers from the university. This is only temporary. I really want to stress that it's temporary because right now it's only until we figure out our dining concerns. I know there are challenges with California Roll-In, and also a lot of them are just like when you Sobel, specifically vegetarian vegans on campus, that's a healthier option than a consistent option. They're only going to be able to open until 5. Again, they aren't dining for the normal shifts that we have, which are kind of wide range, 9-5 jobs for a lot of people, so it's only until 5. We are working to options a little bit later, so in fact, we staff by students, and that'll be an option for sort of until 11 right now. I'm working to shift it. Places where student workers are working, 11 is not just max right now because lots of people are and we've got so I have to see here the time work that like you said, if you give us that is right now, that will fix that. You can maybe update the agenda. That's okay. So the flag update. This one, we've talked about a lot, and I would love feedback. And the main thing I wanted to stress is that this article did go out without privilege. And that was a decision by exactly myself that we felt was important to tell students and to make them upset, and whether they support class or not, to share their opinions and their feelings towards it. So if you've not read the Science article, I encourage you to. But also with that, I'm not sure it was fully included in the article, but when the president does eventually send that to Pino with an apology and the next steps, there will be this committee that I referenced a couple times tonight to determine what the next step is. What the best way to not one something I'd also like to know is CPE, the Committee for Political Engagement, will be hosting an event in October. It's very early stages of planning. I'm also on CPE, but I'm taking a step back from the plan, so I'm just using it as essay role and communicating with them. But they're a great resource to facilitate discussions because it's a nonpartisan group on campus. We've had events in the past revolving around Tibet discussions with China and then also with Israel and Palestine. Facilitating these challenging topics as a thing to have new people. So the goal for that event is to let everyone go. To go and voice your concerns. I see it as kind of a town hall event. We're going to be reaching out to some of the admins that were on the committee and you can ask them to be there. So we also the resident. So that's very early stages right now. We'll probably be the second or third week in October, but that is going to be a chance to probably best to really be represented. Because what's the most frustrating to me as someone who's been on the flag committee is we never pulled students. So we never got what we want. Especially I just talked about the community, so overall, any questions on that so far?
Yeah, but before we go into that, I do like, before we go into questions on your updates, I really quickly, just for the people here that came specifically for flags, I'd love to just start the discussion now so that if this is the reason you came, you can leave. We still have probably another hour of Senate. So before we get into questions about updates, I'm going to open the space up to you to voice concerns to Lily specifically, but all of us in general about why you care about the flags. So for anyone who'd like to start.
Yeah, I was have like thank you very much for bringing this today on the flag launch because I guess it's one of the biggest.
Concerns that students would have, so firstly, one small announcement.
I would like to start with a small announcement.
Which is, International Students Association, mostly led by.
We are planning an event.
So we can ask me to make this short announcement during the Senate today. So I'm going to
myself
the idea that we're going to go there and bring either in form of the clothing or actual flags of different countries, the countries we belong to, or the countries that we feel the solidarity with. And this is going to be pretty much our response. Our response to what happened, we will celebrate the diversity. And if it is the administration's choice that we start at this point, we can't even hope to return the flags back. Well, firstly, that's not the case. We still have the hope that we'll be fighting for this flags to be returned.
But most importantly, is right.
The next time is 1 p.m. but it can change to 1 p.m. The time is still to be determined, but we're thinking of
having it started in the afternoon, early afternoon, so that President Mendelsdorf, Dean Burns, and all the other admins were still on campus.
Because they are on Fridays, they usually meet, yeah, in like early afternoon or something like that. So the idea is that we have this event before they leave. So yes, this is first thing. The second thing is let's see, small update. Yes, another thing is during the day-to-day, like of course all this news with the flag launch, they were very sudden, like we didn't expect them, and I personally learned about them just yesterday. So there wasn't much time to actually think for what the students' response will be on that, but I did write a statement which would pretty much acknowledge the students' take, students' perspective and what happened. Another thing is I also received some suggestions from the leadership. One of them came just right now, which is to wait with this statement because it's, was written, there was no this statement like 7 hours ago. Like we literally in the last in the last 6-7 hours, but I definitely see to discuss it.
So that we could still at least discuss the statement, whether we would actually want to go with it further, whether we would like have a vote on it either today or the next time we have the Senate. So yes, this is pretty much everything I have on the file.
Again, to reiterate what I just said, there is like 2 opinions in the leadership right now. First one is that we should bring and go and have a vote on this motion today. And the second opinion is that the state of still needs some work, the more work should be done in the state. And I guess I will leave it to the Senate to decide whether we want to open it today or not. And also, I would really appreciate if the leadership would also say their opinion about whether we should vote on the state today. Thank you very much for your attention, and let's see you.
All right, thank you, Senator Sorkin. Really quickly, I'll just make my opinion public. The statement was just written. I personally haven't had a chance to look over it. I know a lot of the senators haven't had a chance to look over it yet. We are working on that statement. It's my personal opinion that we shouldn't tonight because we have to edit it, and if we pass it, then that's that. But it is a noble effort, and I just want to let you know we all are working on this actively. I will now open the conversation once again back up to Chair Hutton, and for any of you guys who want to publicly, right here in front of everyone, voice your opinion about the flags. So if anyone has something to say, you can raise your hand.
Okay, I don't know if you have anything to say about what improvements to make. Anyone's there, but like 5 minutes before the pitch closes, and it seems that a number of times for some, and I've seen it in this room for long.
And then I tend to realize there's no dining option on campus, so the students are solid. We just want to make sure it's right. Well, that's something I can motion, like, we can, sometimes we can motion to have a recess, like 5-10 minutes recess. So if that's something people won't hear, we can definitely go through this. Or you get.
How many people want a full break?
Or you can just leave and get food.
It's, you know what, I think that the majority doesn't want a food break, but if you do need to go get food, like, please leave. You can leave at any time during the meeting, come back, get food. Like, not leaving, don't come back, but like I said, like, if you do need food, like, this meeting will probably be going on for another hour or so, so go ahead and take.
Recess.
That's not the majority, so we're gonna continue the meeting because that's not the majority, unfortunately, so let's continue the meeting. I think that the vast.
Okay, how many you would like senators would like to go for dinner?
Okay,
That's not enough, so we're gonna continue the meeting. Like I said, we still have a lot of things to cover tonight, so I think we should just keep going, and if you do need to leave at any point, please feel free to do so. All right, so it looks like from the members of the gallery, there isn't any really flag. So I'm gonna turn it over to President Cosme really quickly, and then we can go into executive update.
The other thing that I wanted to say for senators was that so this is one of those rare moments where Matt and I don't agree. I think it's imperative that we get the statement. Just because I manuals are and so we have a statement from that same pandemic.
Let's discuss that in motions. Let's discuss that when we get to motions. All right.
Nancy, you could send a statement to me.
It's in the agenda.
Awesome.
Let's.
Word the motion in a way, parliamentarians know better, in a way where you can say this is contingent upon grammatical edits. And some other ones, then you're able to change it after, and then I think we can, since we don't want to wait another whole week, but then you can approve it. And then
My only concern with that is that none of the new senators have seen it. I know I haven't seen it. I don't think a lot of senators have seen it. And like, I would just like to finish my statement. Like, I think you should show the statement to Sarah Mangos, president.
I read it on my walk from the meal center.
Okay, well, I think let's like save that discussion for when we get to that part in the meeting. We still have other things to go. Yes.
To share, so about the flags, does anyone else have any comments to make about the flags?
I don't think so. So I think we can.
Give it 5 seconds. Anyone? Yes.
I mean, I think for me, the main, I know this is not new information, the main frustration is the obvious lack of communication from the school that this, like, that they were planning on making a decision anytime soon, at least to the general knowledge of everyone. And at least to me, that's almost worse than like what the decision was, but it's the fact that they very clearly did not highly value it.
oh, sorry, that was the interruption, but 100% agree. Well, 100% agree. That is the biggest frustration I have, is that this has been going on for 2 years and the students haven't been kept in the loop. aside from what we've told, and so the goal is to push that, like, the proposal, which is in public, essentially said you need to apologize for not telling the students anything and why they took them down and say they're meeting, so 100% agree.
Okay, I'm gonna say really quickly, for all the senators who are currently sitting here, I would encourage you to go ahead and read that motion. It seems like a lot of people are pushing for it to be passed tonight, so while we're fixing in the interim, maybe during President Cosme's updates, just go ahead and take a look at that motion. And we will talk about that at the motion section. So.
And to answer, just to add on to what Lily was saying, it also played in our frustration when we pulled campus tax over here, because we knew it wasn't going to be like president, for feel that, we understand that, we're trying. I'd like to hear from Senator opinions, because we haven't heard a lot. Any of the issues that we're discussing, so, anything to say?
And please raise your hand, I'll call on you to. Oh, Senator Krueger, go ahead.
Well, not Senator-elect.
Senator-elect, of course.
So I would like to on the platform.
I'm specifically only to put, and I'm talking to lots of people about this.
Personal opinion, statement, irrelevant. I don't really particularly care about the statement. I think an actual bill needs to be passed. I've looked at the Constitution, the bylaws. It's very clear that this Senate essay is very little power. The power that we do have is we can control the $2 million budget, which controls a very important thing for the university. I think the only thing that we can do in our power is to withhold that money until the university agrees to put up the flag. I drafted a bill. Unfortunately, I did not have access to the policy manual of how to properly draft this bill. But I would like to propose that. I think that that is the only way we can actually impact policy in any meaningful way.
Senator Sorkin, if you have a response.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, about the $2 million budget, that's absolutely true. However, there are some big changes. I think that this big changes can be perfectly
Just
my personal
make
interpretation is,
like read.
90% of the control over this budget was stolen from Students Association by WCC, students activities. I don't want to pull out the names, but
I don't know what it's called.
right now, this second, are pretty much.
It's whatever, just rename it that.
Part of this budget being stolen from us. I would definitely support any attempt
Okay, thank you. And again, like, we'll get to that as we go in. I think we should save, this is a good discussion, but I think we should table this discussion until we actually get to this motion. Yes, sure, Hud.
Discuss that more specifically at a committee meeting as someone who has managed essay budget, as chief of staff, just to get clarification, because I want to make sure before you guys push for something that you're fully educated on who has the position. To be completely honest, chief of staff, I actually had full authority over the budget. I was
I think they're talking specifically about essays of.
no, I and staff as well. And while I agree that some sort of monitoring thing needs to be done.
And so by withholding the groups,
Administration.
So we'll check off the floor, and I'm also after my updates, I'm gonna leave the floor on to.
Okay. All right, yeah. Like I said before, I think this was like a really interesting discussion and a good discussion. And I think that it's a little too soon to be rushing into this. We do have the campus life meeting, and I think that both of you should bring your ideas to the campus life meeting instead of right now. But again, we can talk about this as we go into the motion. Right now, I think we should go into executive updates. So I'm going to turn it over to President Cosme.
All right.
First off, I'll be as an email from me. I'll be on resolution 67.
Oh, just clarification, it's Bill 67, not
Sorry, Bill
67.
That's primarily because we don't have the money to buy previously in our budget as an essay government's budget specifically. It's completely an allocated budget, it's not flat funded, so we can't really make choices in terms of where we want to divert the money. We have specific amounts of money for specific things, and we have to utilize them within that context.
Unfortunately, thus far, SA government has not decided to make any such budgeting for the purposes of purchasing any like premium LinkedIn account or any sort of social media. Specifically and only specifically with like the legal resolution, otherwise I would have gone ahead and supported it. However, if you still feel that that resolution needs to be passed, well, I strongly discourage that. You can overrule my veto with the 2/3 majority of the Senate. That's at your discretion. You can raise the motion for that at the end of this when we start new business. Anyone got questions about that?
Senator Sorkin, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, another question, but
So, hold the line. It's not a question of.
there is a here that you're vetoing it, but vetoing it, but usually it just from what I remember,
Last time, this legislation was vetoed and over
years ago.
it was done because of this disagreement.
With the meaning of the actual contents of
So with money, I would just say that, of course, it's absolutely, the presidential right to veto legislation, but it just, I guess, that there is a problem with implementation of the
resolution.
And the people usually veto legislation. Thank you very much for that point. Should have been one thorough explanation for veto and other reasons that I clearly did not say one.
We're doing this.
The limited account that was set up initially was not one that we would have continued to use. Unfortunately, is Alondra still here? Unfortunately, Alondra and Amy are here with it.
Interview.
Unfortunately, the LinkedIn was not public. It had a bunch of problems because of people taking that specific account. By taking it further with an issue. Number two, we recently found out that we'd actually be able to implement the same kind of strategy with LinkedIn by working with the Meliora Collective and reaching out to the August event, which is something that Katie and Alondra are already doing. So hopefully, in I think a week and a half or two, I don't know when they're meeting more, Lauren is one of the directors of the August advancement and engagement. They will have something set up on Meliora Collective as well as on the page, but to different means. And we're doing that as an executive project. We'll have it sorted out. Unfortunately, approving this resolution would have meant that we agreed with all of the clauses within the resolution, and therefore it comes from a place of caution more than anything else. I'm sorry that it is a resolution that was sponsored by you, and it had to be endorsed for one sponsored by you, it had to be voted, but unfortunately, those were the circumstances that we reflected on this. Cool.
Senator Sorkin, do you yield?
It makes sense. I just think that there could be a broader discussion. Moreover, I just wish this was addressed to me not during the Senate, but prior. I think they were addressed during steering. The meeting with the point of bureaucracy was addressed, but this particular community. I'm sorry. No, the Meliora thing is very recent. Katie and Alondra figured it out. So, and that's why we would have allowed that I'll be here for the sort of last week when we couldn't be more in this possible sport.
Yes, that's of course a great point. They just. That's
Again, it's going to be sure I'm really about your communication styles. We're learning about I think we'll do a better job.
All right, let's continue the update section.
Come on. Next up, we have just I met with
Don is the union rep on campus. She gave us a ton of important details, reaching out to the right folks within administration, making sure that they are giving us a clear picture of where the money is going and how. Unfortunately, we're not realistically going to get all of the information primarily because there's a lot of confidentiality clauses within those contracts. However, whatever information we're going to get, we're going to leverage it to the best of our faculty to take at the university, start getting workers more, and also to hire more people and give sign points. Any questions about that? Let's just ask questions at the end.
Yeah, just go through all your updates and we'll ask questions at the end.
Perfect. Administration committee, Senator Rose Hall, who's also our approved executive chair, hopefully we better represent today. Is our representative on the administration committee. The administration committee is effectively the faculty committee that deals with any and all issues related to academics, which includes, say, FAFSA policy. Felicia will be dealing with all of those things on our behalf, and we are representative on that committee. They have not met this week, unfortunately, they have to reschedule. As soon as they do, I'm sure Felicia will have some wonderful updates for us. I am a representative on the college curriculum committee. The college curriculum committee works on all the issues related to curriculum. The only specific thing that this committee is currently working on is approving a conducting track within the music degree, I think, that's music degree. That's something that needs to currently go to approval by the New York State Department of Education. It was approved by our committee unanimously, so we're just waiting on the information to forward it to the New York State Education Department, and as soon as we get it approved from them, the school will also have a conducting track within a music degree. A big someone causing MERT. So MERT, for those of you who do not know, is the Medical Emergency Response Team. It's a school-led organization that effectively responds to emergency health situations on campus. Unfortunately, at the start of this year, they were put on pause due to a bunch of legal liability issues. Rusama, myself, and a couple of other senators have consistently, and our secretaries, consistently meeting with various administrators. We're trying to get the full picture. We're also waiting to meet with the university's council to understand what exactly are the legal issues, because we're not letting work operate on campus. We're also meeting with the emergency medicine doctor, Strong, who is the primary advisor for MERT, and seeing why they're not willing to sponsor them anymore. As soon as we have more updates on that, we'll let you know, but that's the general summons of what we've accomplished over the last 2 weeks. It's just we're in the process of information gathering. Updates from Molly Morrison, ISO, and Joe Chistani, who's the director of the Dean Center. After not on job, which is something I'm really limited about a year and a half. The Degree Center has finally managed to finish the project of assembling a search engine that will allow students to put in the name of the company, what their H-1B sponsorship policies and like success rates are, how many of them are willing to hire international students and how many of them are not. Although this is not a great for American citizens, but for international students who require like a lot of support from all of these organizations to get these jobs in the first place, it's going to be a game changer because now students will know what places not to apply to and what places to apply to. There's a fair bit of credit to be given to the former SA administration for working on this project with Joe Chistani, especially suggesting it to him. And so none of them are here, but thank you to those who were here before us for keeping their shit together and helping international students. Updates regarding timeline concerns, coverage, and support. As many of you might be aware, there has been a surge of Title IX related incidents on and off campus. This is actually quite common at this time of the year, primarily because this is what is known as quote unquote the red zone informally, because there is a higher number of parties at this time of the year, which has high attendance because we have a greater number of first year students on campus, and it's usually the first years who are the most enthusiastic about attending parties. We seem to have those, well, it's not the first year that are positive, however, that is one of the reasons that we see. Point in case being, because there are a number of parties that are happening off campus, the office, the Title IX office does not have any jurisdiction over those cases. Unfortunately, President Trump's administration at the end of last year decided that for some fucked up reasons, it decided to change Title IX laws completely, and now the university administration can't deal with Title IX cases that happen either off campus and or perpetrated by students or individuals who are not part of the university. Yes.
Students that aren't part of the university off campus?
The students are there.
So if it's not on campus property, then it doesn't fall under Title IX jurisdiction, but it goes to the business office because of the new federal changes in the laws. So before what happened is if the student was involved in a sexual assault case, then even if it was off campus, Title IX could provide support to that student. But now they can provide support and resources, but they cannot look into that case because then it goes to the separate committee to do the case as well. So if it happens off campus, or if it's a student who is not part of the university, then it goes to a separate committee, which is still, they still provide assistance to the people involved in the case, but it just doesn't fall under Title IX jurisdiction. But we're working.
So I can cover the specifics of it, right? For instance, something happens off campus, both of the people involved are University of Rochester students. If it's not on campus property, it has to be investigated by the Rochester Police Department or the Department of Justice. Unfortunately, we have no control over that investigation, and that can lead to a number of outcomes that can also involve the Department of Justice targeting students like outside of the university. So they obviously have consequences with the Office of Conduct on campus, but they can also end up in like a variety of situations. For instance, if I were to say that I was at some point like harassed by a student, if the like investigation was like a they could like make me go to actual civil court, have to give testimony to all that stuff. If it happens on campus, Title IX can use all of it within campus. Unfortunately, because of the recent Title IX changes, we can't do that across outside of campus. We have to limit it to within campus. Because of that, we've been working, and we have a meeting with Title IX tomorrow. We're meeting with Title IX and eventually Restore as well to publicize all of this information to the students, so that students who do end up in such situations are able to reach out to Restore instead of Title IX. Restore is a confidential resource. Title IX is a private resource. Yes.
Restore is a confidential resource, which means that just like UCC or UHS, if you share a case in harassment, they're not part of the or public safety. So basically, if you go and speak to the Restore, they can give you advice as well as resources, and not go against your will to help Title, whereas there are other resources on campus such as RAs or like employees that are employed by the campus who are required to report to Title if they hear that sexual assault or harassment case has occurred to some students on campus. So we are working to publicize with Title what a student should do in certain scenarios that also applies off campus, on campus, what resources they have, so that especially students first years and second years who've never been on campus before, who don't really truly know what Title does or the rules Title initially before COVID even happened and before their budget cuts and their office like cutting down in half. We want to make sure to communicate these resources and alternatives to students so that they know what support they have. Also working with fraternity and sorority affairs to see if we can sort of divert the crowds from off campus on campus, and that is something that we will cover today.
Great. I'll cover the AOD stuff first and then go to essays on the top. So AOD officer is basically the alcohol and other drugs officer on campus. They're employed by the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Affairs. Their basic job is to train students, especially fraternity brothers and sisters, and others like MGCs to train for monitors. Their job is to make sure that when there is an event that features alcohol on campus, students are being safe, someone hooking up afterwards, etc. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to still have alcohol-fueled events on campus at the moment because we don't have an alcohol and other drugs officer. However, fortunately, as has been updated by Sam, or our Chief Justice, and John Desaro, who is the Director of Fraternity and Sorority Affairs, I believe, they do have the name finalized. They're going through the paperwork, but as soon as it comes through, alcohol will be available at parties on campus after their training process is done. Now, that's something I'm not excited about because of the alcohol, but because of the fact that now parties can take place on campus, which means not as many students are going off campus and being endangered off campus, especially within the realms of Title IX issues. So because more students will be attending parties and all those events on campus, if something does go wrong, they'll have Title IX covered and in a way Title IX protection, and so they won't have to go through a completely painful process with RPD or the Department of Justice. The process can hopefully be dealt with by Title IX, and Title IX, believe it or not, is a much better advocate for students as opposed to the Department of Justice. They're horrible.
And that is not something that off-campus gatherings will completely disappear. That's why we are also working on resources to provide the students on what happens off-campus. As we know, recently is that social incident happened off-campus. And it is something that we are actively working on, but there's a lot of frat houses who are doing off-campus events because they can't do on-campus alcohol events. So hopefully that will shift the crowd from campus.
And I'm looking at yours right now. Anyway.
And how
I just wanted to say that.
Don't publish at the party.
No, just wanted to say that
There are, of course, on-campus parties, but just a slight reminder that there's also off-campus parties.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Senator Sorkin. All right, let's continue.
Any particular parties, let's say there are off-campus parties.
Next up, SAA government kickoff, which was on Friday. It seems like it was a success. Team Birds reached out to us after the event, and also a number of other administrators. They were very happy with the tone we struck, quote unquote, and are excited to work with us over the next year. So we are very, very proud of all of you senators, because much more than us talking about this administration, there's 90% of it was me walking with one of you up to an administrator and be like, hey, this is this person, they deal with this stuff. I'm gonna give you guys talk. And you all clearly did a wonderful job. So thank you for reaching out to administrators, for being hella confident, for talking to them, and just networking in a way that allows us to accomplish a lot of the projects and goals that we have for the rest of the academic year. Just give yourself a round of applause. Next up, this is for all of the senators. We really need 3 to 4 representatives for fraternity and sorority affairs subcommittees. As long as you're not a member of Greek life, you can be part of the subcommittees. Can you guys please let me know your names as soon as possible so that I can forward them to John Desire. Yes. Similarly, I forgot to put this on the update, but we also need at least 3 representatives for the River Campus Library subcommittees. You might not be interested in Greek life related affairs, but if you're at all interested in the change in how libraries function on campus, and just to get feedback, those committees meet like once a month or once every 2 months.
I was on the library committee last semester, and they gave us a coupon for Barnes and Noble at the end of it, so do it for the money. That's the only money we get out of it.
Yes, sir.
Can I put a justice on that committee?
On
Library committee.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Just some unit. Thank you for that. Sam, keep giving me people alone. All right. But yeah, so please, at the end of this meeting, let me know if you'd like to be on either of those committees. It would really, really help us. I can't sit on all of those committees, partially because I do that, and partially because we really do have different perspectives. And I have like one perspective. Okay, next up, we have the Presidential Advisory Council. We closed applications at the end of last week before reopening them only partially, just so that we can members of Group Life. As many of you might know, I personally have not had the best relationship with Greek life because I'm not a big fan. However, to make sure and in the spirit of fully understanding what it is that members of Greek life actually do on campus, we want them to obviously be part of the Presidential Advisory
And
Council.
also because we serve all of the student body, and they are part of the student body, and we love them.
Absolutely. But yeah, so if you do know people who are part of Greek life and who want to be on the Presidential Advisory Council, please feel free to refer them to us. So we reached out to John Massaro, and we also recommended some names, and we'll most likely stick with those. Just wanted to give you guys an update on this meeting.
And also to the people in the gallery, we are always looking for people to sit on the Presidential Advisory Council, and that is basically open forum all the time. So it's like you need to meet with me on a monthly basis or bi-monthly basis. And it's just a group of people who have no SA affiliation, who are not part of SA, so that we can get diverse opinions from other groups on campus. We've reached out to all of the clubs and organizations on campus, thanks to our amazing chief of staff friend who's not here anymore. But we are looking for people to sit on the committee. There's no limit to how many people we want or need. We want as many people with strong opinions as we can possibly have. So reach out to us, send me Instagram, Facebook, email, whatever, and we can talk about it.
It's basically an opportunity to call us out when we.
And just be responsible, accountable, bring your opinions, see what work you're doing, how we're.
And more complicated. 2 more things. We need 2 more working groups, teams. If you want to work on the unpausing of merge, and also help us set up an endowment fund for merge, so that A, they can buy their own ambulance, B, they can sustain ambulance in the long run. Please let us know. We have one justice that is coming from HCPC who will take us out. It would be an absolute shame if none of the senators stepped up to this fabulous opportunity. So please, at the end of the Senate, one of you stay back, just whoever you are, and decide, more than one, even better. I know that there are a couple of senators who are showing me this with our team. the Aramark team is effectively working on getting rid of Aramark, getting a much more ethical and viable alternative that doesn't have as many issues. And better. If you want to be on that working team with us as well, please let us know. And once we start working on these specific projects in a organized way, we'll make sure to keep you in, and we'll probably have a meeting every 2 weeks just so that we can see how much progress we've made. If anyone has any questions about our updates, please let us know.
I'm gonna turn it over to Senator-elect Kruger. Senator-elect Kruger, go ahead. And if
I'm the president of Drama House, so I don't work with.
Last one training that I took over a month and a half to schedule. I'm just wondering if you know, is it going to be that no alcohol will serve on parties until December? Is it going to be before weekends where all the parties are going to be?
So we're meeting here.
oh, let's turn it over to Chief Justice Smith.
Conflict. Very involved in that process. The goal is to about a year, 2 weeks away, and just waiting for the finalize the hiring right now. The training will start up. In particular, a bunch of SWOT training, we're looking at someone whose background is in like healthcare outreach and marketing, like dealing with groups like that, and they should be perfect for the kind of bigger trainings. So yeah, hopefully we can get out here.
So would that mean that there's a 2-week period between when you have to propose the party and actually have it on campus? So would that mean that it wouldn't be until after mid-October they propose it?
Well, the first part is, I'm not going to be on the fast date. Ideally, the new AOG will be approved shortly, and the trainings can start with mid-October.
So yes, until the training doesn't end, you're not allowed to have a proposal for an alcohol related party, but you can always reach out to John Carter.
And when we're meeting John tomorrow or the day after.
We're meeting him and we're gonna have more information next time that meeting about all of this.
Hopefully, yes, sir.
Yeah, just so obviously for all your updates, it's great work, honestly, specifically for the project about you working with the great career center on with the ISO money. So could you just connect me with them?
Yeah, that's part of the plan. I already told Joe that the chair of ISA, I CC you in the email. It's just like, I genuinely have not had time to do that today. Like, I have to read the statement / bill / resolution that was written by lawyers today on my walk, literally from the and then do meeting or something. As soon as I have time, I promise you will
Get that forward.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you guys for your updates. Let's go on to Secretary Mendez. Just a quick announcement.
Well, we took shots last Saturday and he sent to me the website. Not immediate, has all this stuff updated, but yes. If you haven't taken a shot, contact that or leave.
Yeah. You're not coming back. Because I really want to stay till I post that meeting. Okay, I can come back.
Reach out to Kevin to see. Yeah.
He said he's coming back, so. All right. All right, thank you. Let's go to parliamentarian updates. Go ahead, Geneva.
Okay, so I'm just raising a motion to approve the continuous bills and work to the campus services committee, student life committee. It's essentially straightening out some of the phrasing that made the bill essentially not be able to be implemented in the way in which it was designed. So this solves that problem. So appreciate if you vote to approve. Secondly, all of the accessories we want to officially approved today will be added to the drive, and then you will access all of our things like templates, to make all of the legislation they want to do. So, third and finally, so I will be sending out this week, essentially a video for you to watch on and also a workshop with you. And we will do some practice on how to write legislation. We'll be building another workshop again called determine those who can't make the first one can count.
Thank you, and I highly recommend that all senators who are confused on legislation do attend that because Parliamentarian Hinkson has worked really hard on Learn the Docs, having this presentation for you guys. And if you do have questions, that would be a great opportunity for you guys.
Make workshops, please send me emails with your legislation. I am more than happy to work with you to make sure that it can be implemented.
Yep, and that's what she's here for. All right, does anyone have any questions for Parliamentarian Hinkson? All right, let's go on to, okay, I'll just go on to my updates really quickly. So Constitution Day this past Friday, I think it was a great success. So thank you guys for helping me. Yeah, I wanted to give a special shout out to for real. Special and Sam, but yes, thank you. But yes, special shout out to Sam and Felicia. You guys were A+. Thank you so much. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Just wanted to shout you guys out there. And then my second update is that all the senator-elects have been assigned to committees, and shortly after we approve the election results, we'll be voting on approvals for their respective committees, and they were notified of this a couple days ago. With that, I think we should move into administrative business. Just a quick kind of summary of what we're going to talk about. We have the minutes motion. I have the motion to establish constitutional ad hoc committee first before we certify the election results, because the new senators don't really have a chance. They hadn't had a chance to look over this. This has been tabled for 2 weeks, and I think we should come to a decision now before we certify the results. Then we have the results. We have several committee appointments. We have Senator Hola for the chair of academic affairs. And then we have some LA appointments. And then we have Parliamentarian Hinkson's bill. And we have just put on the other resolution that was drafted by Senators Sorkin and Moore, I believe. That's kind of a timeline. I think most of these motions are gonna be pretty quick though. So let's go on. Is there a motion? And by the way, for these motions, yes, Senator Hathaway. Is there a second? Senator Satoyevich, thank you. Just a quick thing. This was the minutes from our first Senate meeting, September 7th. These minutes have been up there for 2 weeks now. And if you have any questions, you can direct them to me and Deputy Speaker Parker. So if there's no questions, we can go into a vote by unanimous consent. Is there any dissent? All right, seeing none, the motion passes. Is there a motion?
Motion to take from the table, the motion to approve the bill to establish the constitutional ad hoc committee.
Is there a second? Is that Senator Hola? Oh, Senator Yoon. Okay, I'm sorry. Also, I'm here because I need my computer charged, so I can't really see you guys. So you're just gonna raise your hand. I'll look for you guys. All right. So how this is gonna kind of work is if you have something to say for this, just raise your hand. I'll put you on the speakers list and then call on you just to avoid the kind of chaotic discussion. So just a quick preface, we did discuss this motion at our first Senate meeting, September 7th. And this current motion to take to the table, so I'm going to do a quick vote by unanimous consent, and then we can go into the actual motion. So is there any consent to take this motion on the table? All right, seeing none, the motion passes, and we're now in currently the motion to approve the actual bill. So we're going to go into a discussion and then go into a vote by roll call. Just a clarification, a vote yes, we'll be approving this committee, and a vote no, we'll be denying this motion. So we're going to go into a quick discussion period. If anyone has anything to say, Parliamentarian Hinkson, and I have you on the speakers list. Go ahead, Parliamentarian Hinkson.
So I have concerns that I did already register with you about this bill and potential redundancies it has when the bill was passed in the spring. That bill was Bill 45, and the name of that bill was to recommend SA government to review its constitution through the commission to review SA or by creating an ad hoc constitutional committee. So my concern is that Bill 45 will not be properly implemented if we form this ad hoc committee in part because the has not been sufficiently reached out to in advance to resurrect or find out if he wants to resurrect the essentially commission to review SA. If he does, then the essentially commission to review SA. And if that's the case, then for him to begin that process. I have not yet heard back from him, so I think it would be useful to wait until we do to decide if in case this would be if he doesn't, then it is constitutionally mandated, given that essentially create an ad hoc committee that would be dedicated to some of these purposes. But I think helpful to read some of the language in that bill 45, because it overlaps a great deal with what your committee would be suggesting. So you, Gregor, identify concerns with your bill to identify less bureaucratic, or to essentially to solve bureaucratic problems, to be more efficient, and for they to be a more representative process. But to quote directly from Bill 45, which was formed in the wake of much of the dysfunction of the spring semester investigations. Essentially, this bill would appoint a review to essentially check into essentially the both representation of all significant constituencies and or senators who would on their merits be highly productive. So it addresses claims of productivity, efficiency, and bureaucratic claims as well.
Thank you, Parliamentarian Hinkson. Senator Satoyevich, I know you're on the speakers list. I'll give you a chance to respond.
Yeah, so I heard you brought up this question in terms of similarity. Was it yesterday? With this, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there's several points for the entire. Number one, I think, and correct me if I'm mistaken, the commission would have no legislative power relative to the committee that would be established by bill. I think that there's another point that has to be said. If you look at bill number 45, it's a bill to recommend the SAO Constitution, whereas the bill that's currently on the table is a bill to establish. I think that's an important distinction here. Also, in terms of the structure of bill number 25, even though there is I think like there are some unnecessary members in the commission from this bill if it were to be established. Also, I think that, given the fact that this is sort of like in terms of bill number 45, it's sort of like an uncertainty or a condition. There's a condition which says if there's a committee, and there can't be a commission, or there's a commission, and there's a committee. So I feel like some of these points might be might be less. The first two that I mentioned are definitely something to consider, and for that reason, I think the difference is here, and it's significant.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question. I'd also like to make another point in terms of some other questions that were raised during what was the last time we went before. Basically about to what extent is this this committee, to what extent would this committee be different from basically the elections and rules committee, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that there is a general difference that can be seen clearly, and another one that basically the rules committee, at least in my opinion, has more of a very broad general or have a sort of a narrow scope. That's the plan. So I hope that answers the questions that were raised here.
Okay, thank you, Senator Satoyevich. I'm going to turn it over to President Cosme. And just a reminder, if you do have any comments or questions, please raise your hand. I'll put you on the speakers list. So President Cosme, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. No. Okay, I think my core qualm with this bill was not that it doesn't need to jump or doesn't have good ideas. As a matter of fact, I absolutely agree that the USA Constitution is far too old and requires quite a bit of modification. However, I think that's not an issue that we need to or should prioritize at this moment, primarily because we're the most for 5 seasons, taking manpower away from SA to work on this specific constitutional ad hoc committee would be unfair to our constituents, number one. Number two, I think a number of constitutional changes could be made within the SA Constitution and by extension bylaws and policy to manuals simply by having one large-scale bill that would allow us to make changes. I think that's something that senators can work on their own time and not necessarily form a formal committee to do so. Primarily, A, because it takes away manpower. B, because I genuinely believe that it is essential for us to focus our manpower on things that are more pressing at the moment. And C, this is a project that I do see myself supporting in the spring. However, barring any new crises, I'm hoping that dining services doesn't crash and burn by then. But as long as that does not happen, I do think this is something that needs to like to however, at this point in time, I think there are a lot of other issues that require immediate attention, which this committee would take attention away from. And also, again, to make the point, all of the changes could be made in one large scale constitutional amendment that could be made by senators rallying together at time and or having an unmoderated caucus in Senate to discuss a specific issue and or having a moderated caucus to have a more organized discussion over all of these issues over, say, a period of 30 minutes, an hour, 45 minutes, whatever seems minutes be best by the senators that time. However, at this current point in time, I am very shy to openly and strongly supporting this bill for the aforementioned.
Thank you, President Cosme. I'm going to turn it over to Senator Switojevich first. Oh, okay, Senator Sorkin, go ahead.
Yeah, points and particular committee, I was involved because as like mentioning, there was a first bill to recommend establishing the commission committee last year. It was actually, I think, sponsored or co-sponsored by me. Don't remember sponsored to me it was last year. But yeah, the thing is, actually, although I personally disliked it because I mean it was pushed by phone and I just supported it out of my honest respect to him. But I believe, yeah, sorry, that were true. Yeah, because honestly, he was like the thing that I really liked about him, but at the same time didn't like. He was very focused on details, and this made him a perfect parliamentarian. But at the same time, while recommending that committee and writing down all those, in my opinion, absolutely unnecessary details on how the commission would be functioning, how the commission committee would be functioning, it just he would have created just an overcomplicated some dinosaur committee that would be just enormous.
Senator Sorkin, I'm going to ask you to get to your point so we can get to the other people.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I sometimes can speak too long with direct things. So yeah, I just wanted to say that this time I respect Samit's opinion that about the manpower, but I'd like to say that just kind of point at the fact that this year we have the highest, currently we have the highest senator committee duration. And I actually did some calculations and even if this ad hoc committee was passed, we would still have a higher senator committee ratio compared to last year. And the reason for that is simple. Last year we had 6 standing committees and 1 ad hoc committee. This year we have 0 ad hoc committees and 5 standing committees. So right now we have pretty much 2 committees less than we had last year.
Actually, I'm going to go to Parliamentarian Hinkson. Senator Sorkin, I'm going to actually go to Parliamentarian Hinkson because she was on the list first. Oh. Okay, well, point of order. Okay, all right, go ahead, President Cosme.
You know, you mentioned Senator Sorkin mentioned how yes, absolutely, we have a higher senator per committee ratio, but we're also forgetting that one of the committees is actually 2 committees merged together, and it is dealing with what I can only, in the most reasonable words possible, call one of the biggest clusterfucks that we're doing. Taking that into consideration, I think it's fair to say that the senators who are specifically dedicated to working on that committee have every right to focus only on that and not to take it away from that. Because someone who's working on dining should not even have to fight thinking about the constitutional committee. This is such a whatsoever. I agree that we have issues here, so delegation is quick. I've always been a believer that numbers are often misleading. 3.7 senators per committee is a great number that we calculated, right? If I remember from this year. However, that also means that all of these people are working on issues within their
community. So ISAC has more responsibilities this year than it did last year, of course, because now we're coming out of the pandemic. Last year, all of the international students would take classes hybrid, all online. This year, none of them can. We have to consistently advocate for that, and that means we need more power for ISAC. Campus life, the new community, right? It's dealing with campus services, which is banking and everything else, and also student life, which is student spirit, working with SPV, et cetera, et cetera. Considering that they have more work to do this year, because they have to make sure that the first years who have come on campus have a proper orientation experience. The sophomores who've already been on campus, who've already been and attending school, but not been on campus for the last year, have an opportunity to reorient themselves. This is their first time on campus. Jesus, those coming up. All of that considered, I think those fees, and especially as well as art and SAT, which are more senators right now, art has more organizations to deal with. That I think
President Cosme, I'm going to ask you to yield, please, just in the interest of time. Yes.
Mr. President, for yielding back to me, I have to say that first, two things. First thing, yes, of course, it's sort of, we need to step in your workload, but I just want to remind, I don't know if this will be required for conversations last year, but there is a huge amount of suggestions about what should be done with student government. And there is like, how many, but like, I remember like some of the ex-senators, some former senators, people who are currently senators, like, there are so many different ideas, like, whether students should have stipends, whether they should be, whether they work in the student government should be somehow, paid back, like law, for example, and like who were talking about that? There was also
Senator Sorkin, I once again remind you, we have other people on the speakers list, just to please keep it brief.
Sure, no, it's very important, just there is like around 10 different suggestions that were made during last year about all the humongous possible changes to the student government. That would extremely change our institution for the better. Like whether, like Miraza, I remember, was wondering whether, the election is actually popular in context and something should be done with it, right? ACJC, when Frederick was asking whether, it should be reorganized to some justices being able to get elected. And other questions, like, there is like a huge amount here, some saying they shouldn't. But again, I'm saying that there should be a lot of analytical work done to actually look at all this enormous numbers of steps. And actually figure out whether some idea is actually that one general idea that transforms
Senator Sorkin, I'm going to ask you to yield, please, just in the interest of time. I'm just going to put this out there for everyone. We do have 10 other motions to go through at the end of this, so I'm going to call on Parliamentarian and 2 other people on the speakers list. But I would just say, in the interest of time, please keep your responses brief. We do have 10 other motions tonight, and it's already gone for 2.5 hours. So, all right, I'm going to yield to Parliamentarian Hinkson.
Let me clarify what this is not about. It's not about like whether or not ad hoc committees are necessary, whether or not it's about whether there needs to be legislation passed or students to come and talk about essentially reforming essay. We're all on the same page about that. The timeline. So to enforce properly Bill 45, the commission review is recommended, as you stated, to take up essentially a review of essay constitution. If they fail to do that, like October, then immediately the Senate vote on establishing a committee to do precisely that. So our time. My question to you is essentially. Really?
Thank you, Parliamentarian Hinkson. I'm going to actually go to Senator Hathaway here. I know he has something he would like to say. Is there a second? Is there a second on this motion? Senator Yoon. Okay, we're gonna go into a vote by roll call.
Just before we go to roll call, I know I'm violating the procedures right now.
Senator Sorkin, I would just suggest that if you have more to say, is vote no on this vote, so.
Once again, this is very important bill, guys.
Okay, we're gonna motion to close discussion. Actually, I think we're gonna do it by unanimous consent, and then we can go by roll call if that fails. Let's do unanimous consent. Is there any dissent on ending discussion here and going to a vote by roll call? Seeing none, we can go into a vote by roll call on the motion whenever the deputy speaker is ready.
Senator Bhattacharjee.
You can stay if you want.
Yes. But I would like to clarify for everyone that this vote would change the bylaws. So this to pass this vote will need 8 yes votes. So
Senator Chin.
this is the motion to actually vote on the actual bill. Again, this is a motion to change the bylaws. So we will need 2/3 of the current Senate, which is 8 out of 12. Abstentions and no's do not count in that number. So you'll need 8 yes votes for this motion to pass.
Senator
Speak up, speak up, speak up.
Senator Hathaway. Senator Ola. Senator Moore. Senator Saudi.
Abstain.
Senator Sorkin.
Yes.
Senator Troshina. Senator Tusame.
Abstain, he's not here.
Senator Wong. Senator Yoon.
All right, tally it up. With 2 yeses, 4 abstentions, and 6 no's, this motion fails. Is there a motion?
Motion to certify the fall.
Is there a second? Who said that? Senator Yoon. Okay. So I know Election Coordinator Briggs has been waiting very patiently there the last 2.5 hours, so I'm going to turn the floor over to him.
Okay, I basically this election went off without a hitch, unlike last year's fall election. I had a little bit of trouble with CCC, but this year it went off very well. Voting happened online through the CCC, and we were also able to do in-person voting through First Lounge. I think I got about 30 or 40 people that went and actually voted in person. So a good addition to have this year. As far as the actual winners, there were around 600 total votes in this election. 510 votes for the class of 2025 and 90 votes for the class of 2026. And now to get into the winners, the 2 senators that were elected in the 2022 election was Daniel Kosowski and Ezra Gruber. And the 4 people that were elected in the 2025 session were Charles Indigo, Omar Martinko, Katie Hidalgo, and Zephyr Down. And then with that, this is my explanation of the voting.
Thank you very much, Election Coordinator Briggs. Yes. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask about the election or the election results at this time? All right.
Oh, good. Feels good now. I think it was a good turnout. We had a lot of good candidates.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Oh, yep. Send. Any other questions or comments? All right. I'm going to do a vote by unanimous consent. Just after dissenting, we'll affirm the results. And with that, there are 6 elect senators will become official senators, and we'll be voting on the rest of the Senate meeting tonight. Let's go into a vote by unanimous consent. Is there any dissent on approving the election results? Seeing none, the motion passes. Congratulations to our 6 new senators who are officially senators. All right. And just a reminder to the 6 of you, you now have voting power. So Deputy Speaker Parker will be calling on you tonight to vote. Is there a motion? Senator Krueger.
Motion to approve Felicia Hola as the chair of the Academic Affairs Committee.
Is there a second? Senator Saudi. All right, we're gonna go into a brief discussion here, but I'll start it off. Myself, President Cosme, and Vice President Hawk, after reviewing all the applications, felt that Senator Hola. I personally was the chair of the Academic Affairs Committee over the last couple of weeks, and I've seen her in action, and I really think that she has risen to the occasion, and in my opinion, is the clear leader of the committee, and I think that she'll do an excellent job as chair. So if Vice President Hawk or President Cosme have nothing to add, I can turn it over to Senator Hola to kind of give an explanation of why she wants the role.
I just have a very short thing to say. Felicia's amazing. We love her interview. I think she'll do a phenomenal job working with the chair.
And we really appreciate the initiative she's taken to, with her demonstrated interest in the role and the committee. So we're really confident that she'll do great.
Yes, all right, Senator Hola.
Yeah, I guess I'll keep it short because, basically, I think like my initial step was basically just to like step up in the role and I had time, so I was like, you know what?
But honestly, like, my goals as a chair is really to like, I have like 2 areas that I want to like focus on, is like, one is to foster relationships between like the faculty and students, especially with like the whole kind of issue of like recording lectures and everything like that. And so having an understanding and communicating about that with students, but also seeing how faculty feel about that and will make each side more comfortable about proceeding with that issue. But the other main thing too is making sure like more easy access, like accessibility to resources on campus. We talked about it in the community, but there are a lot of resources on campus that are provided, but I think the one thing that the one trouble with it is, one, it's not publicized well, and 2, there's a lot of people who know about it but don't know what they articulate. They kind of just know like the general area where things are and where to go, but really have no direction of how to proceed with it. And so I definitely want to help first generation college students, BIPOC, international students, and just literally any community that like we need to focus on to like make sure that people are getting the right resources and are acknowledging and knowing that they can really, utilize the school's money for one, and just the resources that we have on campus. So yeah, that's my understanding.
Thank you, Senator Hola. Does anyone have any questions they would like to ask her at this time? Senator Sorkin.
Yeah, no questions. I just want to say that I know Felicia professionally since pretty much her election to the Senate.
I'm definitely sure that she's very, very professional on all aspects of this work. Professional communication and so it's definitely deeply wants to see government. Such potential cheers.
I yield back to the floor.
All right, Senator Krueger. What's that? All right, so you're just motioning to end the discussion essentially. Okay. I would suggest not to do that, just so we can finish this, because this is an important role. I don't know if anyone else would like to ask, but I don't know. Is there anyone else who'd like to ask Senator a question at this time? All right, well then, seeing that, we'll just move into a vote by roll call when the deputy speaker is ready. This would have seen a simple majority, as there's currently 18 senators. A vote of 10 yeses will confirm Senator Hola as the chair.
Senator Bhattacharjee?
Yes. Sorry, I'm not sure. Congratulations.
Yes.
All right, you don't.
Senator Chin? Senator Stoyevich? Senator Hathaway? Senator Hidegalo?
Hidalgo
I
is,
just asked you that too. I'm so
yeah, it's
sorry.
okay. We're all gonna learn these new names together. All right.
Senator
Senator Hola.
Yes.
Yes.
Senator
Yes, have confidence.
All right, guys, let's finish this up.
Senator Krueger. Senator Moore. Senator Nadula.
And Lovu.
Namovo.
I don't know if he's here. Oh, he's here? Okay, yes, okay.
Senator Saudi.
Yes.
Senator Sorkin.
Absolutely, yes.
Senator Toshima. Senator Tusame.
Abstain, he's not here.
Senator Wong. Senator Yoon. Senator Yu Kencho.
Yurchenko.
Yeah, Yurchenko. Okay.
Yurchenko. So,
Senator Zhao.
did you say? Did we call your name? Okay, yeah, you skipped him. Close out. It's Senator Klosowski, right? Okay, that's a yes. All right, so with 16 yeses and 2 abstentions, the motion passes, and congratulations to Senator Hola as chair. Okay, 16 yeses. Is there a motion? Senator Hathaway. Okay, Senator Saudi. You said he was gonna do it, but, well, you were the one who said you wanted it, but anyway, Senator Saudi.
Motion to approve, President Klosowski as senator.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Wait, something. Can we do motions?
That's what I was gonna suggest. So I would suggest you just read all 5 of the next 5 motions, and then we can do it as one motion.
Motion to approve, motion
We'll do
39
a second later.
to
Not yet.
motion 45.
Okay, is there a second? I don't know who said it, but let's just say Senator Turchina, because that's what I heard, I think. All right, so some discussion here. I listened to what everyone said is their preferences for committees, and I think that everyone will do very well on their current committees. And again, for all these current new senators, if you want to serve on another committee, then please let me know and we can make that happen. But for the current senators, I'm pretty confident in my placements, and I think everyone's pretty happy with their placements right now. So I would urge you guys to go not discuss right now, but if there's any questions that you have for me, this is the time. All right, we can go into a vote by roll call when the deputy speaker is ready.
Senator Bhattacharjee.
Right here.
Senator Chin. Senator Shutoyevich. Senator Hathaway. Senator Hidalgo. Senator Hola.
It's close out.
Senator Klosowski. Senator Krueger. Senator Moore. Senator Nadolvo.
Is it? How do you? Would you?
Yeah, what
Can
do
you
you
give
say
us the
now?
pronunciation there? Njovu. Njovu. Okay. I know, it's the same thing. All right, your turn.
Senator Saudi.
Yes.
Senator Sorkin. Senator Toshina. Senator Tusame.
Right here.
Senator Wong. Senator Yoon. Senator Yuchenko.
Yuvchenko. All right, use your vote.
No, Senator
No, what?
Zhao.
Yes, okay.
Senator Zhao.
With 16 abstention, the motion passes. Congratulations. So excited to have you guys on our committees. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve continuing development of the Family Services Committee and Street Life.
I would caution that you do the LAs first before we get into that, but is there another motion? Just. Hello, Senator Hathaway.
I think we did up to 45.
All right, no, we did.
Yes.
We did through 45. Okay. All right, so, So is there a motion? Is there a motion? Just first, we need a senator to do it. Senator Sorkin.
Motion to nominate all the SC official nominations that have been made on the agenda.
What? We already did that. They're all approved. Every motions. All right, motions 39 through 45 have just been approved, so everyone there is approved. So we can go into 46 and 47. Is there a motion?
Continuing bill to merge the campus services committee and the student life.
Is there a second? Thank you, Senator Kruger. Just a quick disclaimer, we kind of talked about this earlier. This bill will need to be tabled tonight. But we can go into some discussion if you have any more questions for Parliamentarian Hinkson. I'll turn it over to you, Parliamentarian Hinkson, actually, if you want to say anything else about the bill. And if not, we can go into a table.
If you have questions, but
Yes, this motion will need to be tabled, so we're gonna need a motion to table, and then we can reintroduce this at the next Senate meeting. And also, I would like to just ask everyone to please be quiet at this time as we finish the Senate meeting.
Motion to table continuing bill to merge the service committee and the.
Is there a second? I'm gonna go into a vote by unanimous consent. Thank you, Senator Kosowski. Is there any dissent for tabling this motion? Seeing none, the motion is tabled. All right, we have one more motion here, guys. Is there a motion?
The motion to discuss the statement to denunciate President Mangelsdorf.
Do you want a motion to discuss or a motion to approve?
Yeah, I think since discussion is included in any motion for approval.
All right, let's do a motion to approve then.
Motion to approve the statement to denunciate President Mangelsdorf's decision to remove flags from the first line.
Okay, Senator Moore seconded, so we can go into a discussion here. I'll turn it over to the writers of the bill, but I would say, hopefully during this hour period that we talked about it, you've had a chance to look at it. It is a very short bill, and that you formed an opinion, so this discussion won't be too long. Senator Sorkin, I'll turn it over to you.
Oh, well, yeah, I think a lot of
The last 3 hours, and what is just outrageous. I honestly, until this point, wasn't paying much attention to all the flag launch conversation, and there was a single reason for that. I thought it was temporary. I thought that the administration of the university wanted to wait until controversies that were
involved in the past, and once
controversies would
everything would return back to normal with having flags back to the law. However, yesterday, while reading the article from the campus flags, it was made explicitly clear to the entire student, the entire student body that no, the flags are not coming back to the flag launch. And honestly, these are not flags. This is a symbol of unity, a symbol of solidarity with all the international students, all the different members of our community, which come from all the parts around the world. And I think that this is just something that cannot be left without being denunciated by the student body. I know that there is already, currently, people are signing petition, to approve, to actually take actions in regard to this, but again, as I was speaking earlier today, petition shows numbers, while the statement shows the official legitimacy.
Thank you, Senator Sorkin. Senator Moore.
I would have to be on the other end, but like how they really do when they're thinking about it.
Possibly, or like say like why front the entire student body, so maybe trying to include something about that would be helpful, because it's like, I thought it was equitable.
Can I take that?
Yeah, Senator Sorkin.
Yeah, so here's the thing, there were many different suggestions, but actually there was.
Right what you said.
Like, I don't know, like around 15 people today they will see. The thing is, this will be hard to make the statement perfect. And it will take time. However, right now we have the momentum. We have this momentum to take action. I'm actually currently already speaking to multiple people who we are planning to write another statement later that will have a lot more information and will be not just about flags, but the diversity issues in general. So in regard to this suggestion, I would suggest for you to join our project group and include it in the second statement, but right now we need to take action. We have a momentum. We have protests coming this Friday, not protests, events.
Thank you, Senator Sorkin. I'm gonna ask that you yield, please.
Yeah, yielding as Mr. Speaker always says for the plan.
All right, thank you, Senator Kruger.
That's the first paragraph. Whereas after the decision, representatives of the student government were told to take down temporarily completing, showing a complete lack of regard for the students and their representatives. Second,
Okay, wait, I'm sorry. Can you wanna, what's exactly what you wanna add? Give me like the.
A whereas clause after the first, second whereas. Just recite.
Yeah, here, wait, I have it up. Let me just type it in. Oh, after the second one, right here.
Well, I can just, whereas, after this decision, representatives of the student government were told.
All right, hold on.
Representatives of the student government were told. The flag will merely taken down temporarily. Meaning.
Okay.
Comma, showing a complete lack of regard for the students and the representatives.
Okay, thank you, Senator Kruger, and I think Senator Sorkin seconded that. I'm just gonna go right into a vote by unanimous consent for this one. Is there any dissent in adding this clause? Seeing none, we can go back into the original motion. So we're still in the discussion phase. I know President Cosme is still on the speakers list, so go ahead, President. Wait, sorry. Do you yield, Senator Kruger? Thank you. President Cosme, go ahead.
The only thing I'd like to mention is that Lily initially suggested that you can edit clause so that you can actually edit the statement once we're done with the Senate meeting. The purpose of the statement right now is to show that the entire essay and essay Senate specifically is behind us when we go and talk to the and tell them that this is not a decision that we're willing to accept. We can obviously change this later. She's definitely not doing this. I don't think that the time to read this portion of this is really long for it. Just leave it within the statement that there's room for editing later. I think you could raise a motion to allow for edits later.
Okay. Would someone like to raise a motion then?
Lily mentioned that earlier. But if that would be allowable.
I need to find out because.
I think that honestly, my opinion would be you just pass it as is, and if you need to do a second motion, then like a later resolution. Always update this. You can do it at a different meeting. I would suggest voting on this current motion right now, yes or no, and if you need to update it, you can always do a motion to update the statement. Vice President Hall. Oh, okay. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add on this motion?
What did you say?
So I said that you should probably vote on this as it is right now, and you can always make a motion at a future Senate meeting to update the statement.
So sponsor of this statement. Let's go with the amended version because.
Okay, no, we already passed the amended version. The amended version is passed, so currently that third stanza is on the bill. My resolution, sorry. Yes, Senator Hola.
So if I co-sponsored it, but my ear is wrong on the statement, so I don't know. Say like I need to amend.
Honestly.
Okay.
What's your year?
Oh, okay. You know what? Let's just pretend that would never happen, and that was the original. I think that never happened, and that was the original the whole time, if I recall. So I don't really think there needs to be a change for that one. All right, is there any other discussion? Okay, I'm gonna go into a vote by roll call whenever the deputy speaker is ready. A vote yes will be approving the statement, a vote no will be denying it. Again, you'll need 10 yes votes for this statement to be approved.
Senator Bhattacharjee.
Abstain.
Senator Chin. Senator Shatoyevich. Senator Hidalgo. Yes. Senator Hola. Yes. Senator Klosowski. Yes. Senator Kruger. Yes. Senator Moore. Yes. Senator Nadolvo.
Yes. So we'll learn it.
Senator Saudi.
Yes.
Senator Sorkin.
Absolutely, yes.
Senator Troshina. Troshina? Yes. Senator Tusame.
Abstain.
Senator Wong. Senator Yoon. Yes. Senator Yuchenko. Yes. Senator Zhao.
Yes.
With 16 yeses and 2 abstains, the motion passes. Excuse me, we're not adjourned yet, and I just want to make a quick point of order. Before we adjourn, I just want to say a quick thing. We do have a quick 15-minute meeting after the Senate meeting for all the senators. Please stay seated, and we're going to have a quick meeting after this. All right, is there a motion to, thank you, Senator Hathaway, second. All right, Senator Chin, no discussion. Vote by unanimous consent. Is there any dissent? We are adjourned. Again, please stay for the next 15 minutes, all senators. Thank you, and that was a great meeting, guys.
3 hours shows a big long. That's very good.
Stay seated, guys. Stay seated.
Have fun, kids.
Correct.